Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. We're going to talk about a topic today, and we're going to dig a little deep into this thing. But I want to first and foremost find out how you doing this morning. How each and every one of you, how y'all doing this morning? Everybody okay? Life has a tendency sometimes to deal hands that we may not always be ready for. So I want to ask the question, man. How are you doing? Are you okay? But you do also know, and this is gonna be our topic for today. I'm gonna put it out there real quick. I want you all to know that it's not about you. It's not about you. We find ourselves in situations sometimes whereas we think that everything that happens, every situation that goes on has a way of, or people has a way or have a tendency to turn it and make it all about them sometimes. And our topic today is not all about you. If somebody is going through something and they're telling you about what they're going through and how they're going through it and the situation that they're in at that particular time, listen to that person. Don't flip it. Don't flip this subject and make this subject somehow all about you. I stomped my feet yesterday. They come to you. I stomped my feet yesterday. And man, this thing hurt so bad, man. I tell you, it's caused me so much pain. Well, I got this headache, and man, I've been having this headache for 2 days. We're not talking about your headache. We're not talking about your headache. We're talking about I stomped my foot. Could we at least talk about me stomping my foot? And then if we need to get to your headache, let's get to your headache first. But don't deflect the conversation and turn it about you. Don't do that. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. I always got to have a topic that I like to talk about before I get to the main topic, but I just want to throw the main topic out there in the beginning, just so you'll know. I'm writing some down. Okay. Just so you know what the main topic we're going to talk about today, because I'm gonna tell you something. It has a way of people has a way of doing that all the time. They make it about themselves. Whatever it is, they have a way of deflecting whatever the conversation is to make it about them. Good morning, Skinny. Good morning, Brian Kendrick. Good morning to you as well. Good to have each and every one of you. I'm definitely appreciative that you came and joined us this morning. The phone lines are open 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. Um, I was talking to a friend of mine. Why? Good morning. Why has joined? That's a very unique name. Question, answer, everything. I have a friend of mine, and she came to me and she was telling me about the relationship that she's in. Um, Nobody likes the guy that she's dating. Truth of the matter, I don't really care too much for him myself. But I told her, I said, I'm not the one that have to date him. I'm not the one that have to spend the time with him. I'm not the one that have to be around him. I'm not the one that have those quiet moments with him. It's not me. Like I come around and when I'm ready to go, I could go. So I want to ask this question: how important is it? How important is it that and some people have some very close circles. Some people have some very close circles. So how important is it that the your circle of friends and family and friends like the person that you're dating? How important is it? I think we got Ibrahim with us this morning. Let me see. Let me pull him on in here. Ibrahim, good morning. How you doing this morning? Ibrahim may be having some issues with his line there, so I'm sure he'll get that worked out very soon. But my question is this: how important is it? How important is it that the person that you good morning? Somebody say good morning. Good morning. How important is it that the person that you're dating, your circle of family and friends, and if you're in a real close knit circle of family and friends, is it important that they like the person that you're bringing? And initially, that's what you're doing. Good morning, John. John, good morning, Rock. Good morning, Rock. Definitely appreciate you. How important is it that your close family and friend, your circle, like the person that you're dating? You dating somebody new. and nobody seemed to like this person for whatever reason. Is it important that they like him? That they like this person, him or her? Toussaint, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Okay, well,
Okay. 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 I get you already, brother. But Toussaint, you're dating somebody new, and after say 3 months, let's just say 3 months, you realize that nobody, you got a real close circle, a real tight knit circle of family and friends. Y'all are tight, man, thick as thieves. But you realize
mm-hmm,
nobody like her. Now,
mm-hmm.
now, now, how important is it that your close knit circle of family and friends like the young lady that you're dating? Is it important at all? Does it matter?
I would say no,
Mm-hmm.
and I would mean no.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, through time, I learned that it doesn't matter, but you better pay a close attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
But if y'all can, when it's all said and done, you all are in a relationship and you're good for one another.
Mm-hmm.
Keep folks out of your business.
Mm.
That means family, mama, sister, brother, cousin, all of them,
Mm.
neighbor, children,
Wow.
all of that.
Now hold on. Now you say
Mind
children.
you,
No, whoa.
yeah,
Hold on. Shit. Pump the brakes for a second. You say children? Now, if they don't
yeah.
like your children or the children don't get along with them, is that, I mean, that's okay.
Well, here's the deal. Children have a tendency to hang on to their parents, especially if they are. Um, I don't like the word step parents,
Mm-hmm.
stepmom, stepdad.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
like that term.
Mm-hmm.
But that it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And if you're in a relationship after the mother of your children, they're not gonna like her automatically,
Mm-hmm.
for the
Mm-hmm.
most part.
Okay. Okay. Go. They think they're taking her place.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So you have to be careful about what you hear them say
Mm-hmm.
because they already have an impression that they're trying to take the place of the parent,
Mm-hmm.
and she may say something, and automatically it may not have been bad intentions, but they're gonna take it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And here you go in the middle. Be careful of what side you choose
Mm-hmm. Mm.
because you
Mm.
you got to go home with them. And your children, if they're not staying in the house, especially if they're grown, then they gone on about their lives. And here you go, mad at her or him
It almost sound. It
behind.
almost. It almost sound too short. And we got a couple other people here. I want to pull them into the conversation as well. But it's almost. It's almost like you're saying you have to pick sides and know what side to
That's what
pick.
you did in the first. You better. Unfortunately, Raheem, and I know we gonna let somebody else talk. But if you get into a relationship, if that's what you want, you better pick that side,
Mm.
and you better be clear about that.
Mm.
Because if you're heading somewhere in the relationship, sooner or later, you're looking to bond with that person,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all need to be on the same page.
Wow.
You know,
Then you got to keep other folks out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Mm.
It
in
don't matter what they feel.
Wow. Wow. Let me go to Charles. Charles, move your ear, man. Get your ear all up on the screen like that, man. Move your ear, man. Turn the volume up so you can hear Charles.
I can't come be talking low, man. He got such a mellow voice. He's too mellow, man. He's just too calm for me. Gotta get
Yeah.
wild, man.
Is he cool, man? Is Tucson cool, man?
Cool as a Eskimo toenails. He cool as a cucumber, man.
Exactly. How they say? How my man used to say, cooler than the other side of the pillow. cooler than the other side of the pillow. Stuart Scott, God rest the dead, man. Stuart was
and that's cold over there.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Charles, let me ask you this question, man. How important you got a real close knit group, a circle of family and friends. You've been dating this girl for 3 months, and you realize they don't like her. Is it important that your close knit family and friends, and even the children, like Tucson say, is it important, man, that they like her?
Not really. I like her. I mean, what reasons? What am I not seeing? Now I'm gonna ask, what am I not seeing now? But sometimes people do see what you don't see. But other than that, it doesn't matter. But because that's who I like. But I gotta ask, what am I not seeing? Because learning, growing up and learning that other people sometimes have an intuition. Now, the person who says that they don't like, now let's say for instance, I take this person around my aunt, and she don't like it. And then I take her around, and I go somewhere else, somebody who don't know my aunt, and they don't like it. And then I go somewhere else who don't know that person who don't know my aunt, and they don't like it. There's something going on there. You know, if 5 people who don't know each other don't like this person, what it is about this person. So then it might be my vision of cloudy if I'm doing things I should be doing too.
Okay.
So, but on a big scheme of it, they don't have to like them. If I like them. If I want to be with them, I mean, that's on them. They ain't gotta like them. That's who I'm with.
But see, the thing about it is, you're bringing this person around. You're sending this person around your close knit family and friends, and it's a close knit family. It's a close knit group of people. But you're constantly bringing this person around. That doesn't make a difference.
And they constantly, if they're constantly causing issues, and I know that, I won't be around. Because see, my family, we're a lot alike, and I thank God for that. That we see things a lot similar in similar ways. So it's rare that I can bring somebody around that they don't like, because I know the type of people that I like. You know, I like to be around the same type of people that my family are. You know, if you ain't ready to just have fun, and if you argue, make up, you know, like you say, you know, play your cards or watch your movies and stuff like that. If you're not that type of person, you're not the type of person for me anyway. Because that's how we're molded. I guess that's how I was molded.
Yeah.
In my family, you know what I'm saying? Or how my family molded me. Because we all got molded one way or the other.
Yeah.
But if they're not like, but overall, if they just don't like them, which is very rare, then it doesn't matter to me. That's on them. You know, they with me.
You would have to pick sides though, and so the side that you would pick is with the person that you just met or your family.
If I had to pick sides, you mean like, all right, this is how you do that. You say, we can't go over there.
Yeah, we won't be going to the cookout. We won't be going to the cookout.
I heard the sister gonna have a cookout. We can't go over there.
You say we, but you know what you really mean. No, we can go over there.
It's we, man. It's we, man. Yeah, and I'm not speaking French either. It's we.
Yeah. I understand. We be sure. We go.
Rico, exactly you.
Exactly. Rico, what do you say to that? And good morning. How you doing this morning?
I can't complain, man. Welcome to the new day, fellas.
Hey, likewise. Welcome to you as well, Rico. How do you deal with the situation, man? Now, you've been dating this girl for 3 months. Nobody in your you got a close-knit family and friends, close circle. Y'all real tight. Thick as thieves. Now, they don't like her, Rico. They just don't like her. Does that matter to you? Does it make a difference? How does that affect your relationship, if it does at all?
Well, you know, for everything under the sun, there has to be some type of reason. You know what I'm saying? Some reason may be justified. It may not be. I would have to find out why. You know, they you know how we talked one time about having a new guy come to town and he see this fine piece of meat and he jump all on her, but everybody else looking like, man, yeah, she look good, but
yeah.
Well, if you only knew. Sometimes your family might know this woman a little bit more than you. Sometimes the women might have heard her name in circles amongst the talk of other men that you didn't hear.
Yeah.
You think you got you a nice catch. Really and truly, you know what I'm saying? She the pick of the little. You know what I'm saying? Everybody done had her. So I mean, you know, it depends. You said 3 months. Man, to be honest with you, in this day and time and the way people operate, you won't know enough in 3 months to just be able to say, well, you know what? Screw y'all. I love her. But then in this day of this microwave society where everything is so convenient and people want it quickly, you see that's what happens with a lot of relationships. People start fast, you know what I'm saying? Love at first sight, all that mess right there. You know, when it really and truly just attraction, physical attraction.
Lust.
And so you know, it lust too, you know. And so, you know, when you think about how fast relationships move, if it was 3 months in and this was like something that happened immediately, I would have to take into consideration what's going on and do a little investigating myself.
Absolutely. And there's a lot now. Toussaint said, even with the kids, if you and this young lady, y'all staying together, and the kids say they stay somewhere else outside, they're grown, but they don't like her. How would that affect? Because you know the kids might have a tendency to, I don't even want to come to your house now because she's there. Would that make a difference?
I mean, once again, it depends on why they don't like her. You know, if they don't like her just because they don't like the fact that I found somebody new and they feel like they ain't gonna have their daddy the way they used to, then I know, okay, that was just some selfish, emotional reasons. But if they know she got a history for gold digging, you know what I'm saying, chasing out the men for clout and different things, and I'm thinking that it's all about love. But really and truly, they know that when things go downhill and I need my butt wiped when I get old, she gonna run off on me. That might be a legitimate reason, especially within 3 months.
Yeah.
And if I refuse to want to hear what they're saying and look at the proof, and they don't want to come over, you know, that would be it would be a fault of mine. Hopefully, I wouldn't choose that woman over my children if the reason why they didn't like her was legitimate. But it would all depend on the reason. Still, I mean, whatever question you ask, it's probably still going to depend on why they don't like her.
That's good. That's good. Ibrahim, what do you do in this situation? 3 months.
I tell you, I have real life experiences on this, and I say this because I'm the elder of my family. After my father passed away in '94, right? I'm looked to as the elder. So I made some decisions. I've told people, and it hasn't been wrong yet, that's not right for you. I think I'll be people looking at sometimes not about the person, but about them, you know, not messing with this person. They're not going to treat them right, or it's going to be conflict between the both of them. And case in point, one sister, she got her second marriage, right? I said, this guy here, he just had an intense look. Good guy, beautiful, good job and everything. So finally, you know, he showed his true colors, right? Wound up kicking up my other sister and everything and fighting with her because she caught him in cheating affair. I told her about a second husband. I said, I've been knowing him since high school. I said, no. A third husband. I said, no, You know, his boy intense. He turned out to be a crackhead. He had his own business, a beautiful big business and everything, stringing wires. He turned to be a crackhead. My brother, he met this girl down in New Orleans, right? Fine as wine, you know, bright light, damn near white, right? Excuse my language, but she was fine as hell. But I could tell this girl was a player, you know. My brother working for Lockheed, he had a top security clearance. He traveled around the world, and his wife, she worked for the company, kind of got him up to that position. She was executive secretaries over there. They lived over in Africa, all over anyway. So, you know, I guess it wasn't working between them. But she was the best. She had money. Her family used to get together. Her family used to get together and do the stock bonds. You know, they had stock parties and stuff like that. Years ago, they were making money. Him and Fizz, he's making money. And then meet this fancy. On my birthday, I go down there, Mississippi. Anyway, I meet him, and he said, "Man, hey man, I'm gonna take this girl here, man. I'm gonna divorce my wife. This is my woman. This is my girl right here." I said, "Whoa, wait a minute." I said, "The girl's fine. I want to hit it. You know what I mean?" But look, Daddy said, "Don't leave the woman, no one." Daddy said, "Not that," and he did. He came there. He threw him in jail. She came up here. He divorced his wife. And she threw him in jail the first time, and it's been like bam. The whole family can't stand it. The head that we had a couple interventions. At one time, One of them decided to go a root worker. You know, because the guy said she got some kind of power over him, right? And then the guy up and died. And it was like, oh, and it's just been one, and even today, it's still going on, man. The family, don't bring that, and she like, that she divorced him twice. She took part of his money, you know, to his pension fund. And then he married her back. She's going to divorce again. When she comes and wait a minute, because she bought a house of her own. He lost everything, but you know, blah, 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 back and forth. And then, man, it's still going on. And everybody like say, why the hell? So, you know, but I'm just saying, then I got a sister like that. She's on her fourth marriage. Was on her fourth, fifth marriage, right? Same thing about dudes. It wasn't the dudes, it was her. I know that she was like, I said, no, I was feeling sorry for the guy. I was feeling sorry for him, man. I said, no, don't do that. And she had 4 decent guys, man. And she ran them into the ground. She dogged their ass out. Them. You don't know him. You don't know him. I said, we knew. I tried to tell you before.
Ibrahim. Let me say something to you, man. It's 7:39, Ibrahim. It's 7:39.
Don't stop him.
Ibrahim, listen. Ibrahim. Hold on, Ibrahim. Hold on. Listen to me, Ibrahim. Brother, you my big brother. You're the elder on the group here, man. But it's 7:39, Ibrahim. You don't use 6 cuss words already, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. What did I say? We
don't use them. Ibrahim, it's 7:39. The first time I came to you, you don't already now. If we don't stop this thing right now, you're gonna write a dictionary today.
This is not gonna be a Christian radio show. We keep it up.
Y'all gonna make me comfortable, man. Y'all about to be in trouble when I'm coming to talk again, boy. Y'all gonna make me real comfortable. I'm gonna let you look at this thing.
Ibrahim will make you believe you were there.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Life is straight to fiction, man.
This is the first time I came to you, Ibrahim. That's the first time I called on you, bro.
No, you called me before, but you skipped over. You said Ibrahim, and you skipped right over every time.
I don't need no coffee now. I don't need no coffee now.
And then here y'all go tomorrow. Let him go. I'm comfortable now. No, man.
Give me one more.
I thought it was Wednesday. My fault. I thought it was Wednesday.
Because you want to tell a story, you got a moral to a story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Rico.
Okay. I'm finish one last thing, right?
Rico, Ibrahim, you done been 4 minutes, brother. You only get 3 minutes, man. Hold on, man. Hold on, Ibrahim. Good Lord.
Hey,
Ibrahim, what?
4 minutes are too short talk. Cuss words.
Exactly.
You know, I'm all the way back full circle, bro. Cuss words.
Man, this dude done used 6 cuss words this morning. I don't give a bloop, and she done better. Wait a minute, bro. Yeah, go ahead, Rico. We're gonna stop Ibrahim for a second, man. Give him a chance to take a breath. Go ahead, Rico.
Yeah, man. You know, based off that story, man, that you know, the story that he just gave. That's the reason why sometimes you have to actually listen to what people are saying. You know, because we could get caught up. We could get caught up in the moment, man, be so anxious to want to be in love or just meet somebody, and they just fascinate us so much to the point to where we feel like, man, I can't do without this person. I mean, just think, she even tempted him to leave his wife. So, you know, either it was her body or her personality. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we could let the looks, we could let the aesthetic of a person dictate.
Rico, I ain't even got your time running right there, man. So I can't stop your time. But Rico, let you know this the morning glow now. You know, sometimes it could be that snatch, man. That snatch.
A skill. The
skill level.
You know, I'm just trying to take it, trying to keep it, you know what I'm saying, PG.
Yeah, okay. Appreciate that.
I'm trying to keep it PG, you know.
Trying to keep it clean, man.
Manipulate us into liking the personality. Or being ignoring some personality flaws. And the other people see it. They can see when you come around, oh man, look at him. He in love with her. Look, he ain't studying none of that other stuff. He just caught up in how she looked. He just caught up in that booty.
Nose wide open.
And they can see how you act. You know what I'm saying? So they don't like it because they know, look, man, you in this for the wrong reason, and she ain't in it for the right reason.
Yeah.
But when you want what you want, and sometimes when you're a powerful man, who's gonna tell you anything different? Because 9 times out of 10, if you're a powerful man, or you can be a powerful woman in the same situation, that person that's trying to get close to that power is gonna feed you anything they need to feed you to make you feel like, hey, it ain't me, it's them. They just some haters.
Yeah.
They need to get to know me.
Mm-hmm.
But they already know. So, I mean, you know, it depends, man. It could be so many different reasons. You know, sometimes, I mean, depending on the type of family you got, your family could just be actually truly hating on you and jealous because they always have been in competition with you. That happens.
Yeah.
So, you know, okay, I have to ignore these people. But hopefully, you know your people good enough to trust that if they came off and treated somebody that way, it had to be a legitimate reason.
And I'm gonna ask this question. I just realized, man, Toya with a T done snuck in. I ain't even see you come in, Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Get married. How you doing? That's because y'all too busy looking at her butt. No, I'm just joking.
Hey, I look at her feet. I don't look at her boot. I look at her feet, man. Them toes jacked up, man. She out of here.
All right, Boomerang.
Exactly. But
all right, Boomerang. I got 4 inches worth of toe over here. What's up? Ain't no corns on them. What's up? No, I'm just joking.
She said, I got 4 rows of toes. But Toya, let me ask you this. You've been dealing with this guy 3 months. You know, you got a real close-knit circle of family and friends. Y'all roll together, you know, y'all like thick as thieves. But you realize in 3 months that they don't like him. None of them really like him, care anything about him. Does that matter how your relationship go on? Do you still deal with him? Do you keep him away from the group? Or how do you deal with a situation like that? Because they don't like him now.
Well, you know, it depends. Rico just said some true light, right? And you know, from experience, especially with girls, right? Nobody's ever good enough for your big sister, little sister, middle sister. Nobody's ever good enough. And when you bring the dudes by the house, ain't none of them. They ain't gonna like none of them. Where's that coming from? Is it coming from protection, jealousy? You know, so sometimes it be like that. But it's key for you to know your family members. If you have, and a lot of us are confused on what being treated good is, right? Because a lot of women get encouraged to stay in relationships where you know what God's fighting with you, but you still get encouraged to do that. So it just depends, because sometimes they encourage you to stay there for the money. I'm talking about just being a female. Sometimes when some women had already been mistreated, you know what I'm saying, they will encourage you to stay. So when a family tells you not to stay or we don't like them, like Rico just said a few minutes ago, depends on what kind of family. You don't like them because it's going to take all my attention off of spoiling y'all. You don't like him because you feel like he's going to take me to a better place because y'all haters. You know what I'm saying? It can be a multitude of things, especially in 2022. Nobody really, we're not old school like we used to. You know, old school, dad coming through, check the guy out, what you doing, what you talking about, what you trying to do with my daughter. You had to ask dad, could you marry him first? Honey, let me tell you something. These men now don't even care what's going on with their kids. Oh, well, if you think somebody that abuses you, that's just you. But that's their daughter. So in 2022, it's really hard to say if your family has your best interest or not, because family taking each other out in this day and age. I mean, I'm just saying. So traditionally, right, a few years ago, we still had an issue, because you remember how they didn't want to tell you that your girlfriend was cheating because they didn't know how you would take it. They thought that you wouldn't believe them. Anybody experienced that before when they were younger? Your friends and stuff, they didn't want to tell you that because they didn't know how you were going to take it. But why not? Oh, well, Auntie, I know you're crazy. More reason why you should tell me that you saw this dude out there on a motorcycle with another chick so I can leave him alone. So there's a multitude of reasons. My people know I'm crazy, so they got to be real careful. My men know I'm crazy, so they're going to be real careful coming to tell me anything, period, point blank. However,
I feel the same with my women ought to know that.
You know your peoples. You know your people's right it out. So they telling you to beware. And you know that these are people who always welcoming people, and they don't normally tell people out. You need to pay attention to that. But if you're with your people, then nobody's never good enough. Then you're gonna have to find some kind of way to decipher what's real and what's memory.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Charles, how often is it that we as men get clouded We got background noise coming from somewhere.
You say that again, bro?
How often is that we as men get clouded in our vision because you got that big butt baby hair and a smile?
Oh, a lot. Men get caught up with that a lot when they don't when they've been trained. It's a way that you've been trained, man, all your life that it can beat you all the time. And usually, if it beats you once, it can always beat you. Like, I'm gonna move to Alabama because it's different, but you're gonna get caught up in the same issue because you ain't different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we get caught up with that real quick if you haven't learned from a young age not to get caught up. Because guys in their 40s and 50s getting caught up with it because they didn't learn in their 20s and 30s that don't get caught up with this official thing. You know, we like to look at it, we love to look at it, but don't let it trick you. Don't let it trick you, devil.
Exactly.
But let me ask you, what's that? Is that Toya?
Yeah, Toya with a T.
Toya say her men know that she crazy?
Yeah.
Her men? Gosh,
Uh-oh. Lord. Hey, look, I'm not even gonna let her respond to that. I ain't even gonna let Toya respond to that. You just see that look, now you're being silly.
I'm just messing with folks, man.
I know. Tucson. Now,
yes, sir.
How often is it? And again, I'm talking men. We talk as men. How often is it that big butt baby hair and a smile and certain body parts that she have or certain skills that she have cloud our vision, and we don't see things that's really right there in front of us because of certain skills that she have.
Two words right here. Which two words you think I'm going to use?
Tucson, with you, I have no idea, brother. I have no idea. Georgia Peach. Oh Lord.
Lord have mercy. I don't know what they eat.
Well, again.
My gracious, I'm in somewhere right.
I know you are.
I was in a conversation with my daughter yesterday. And what came out of her mouth is, I never did like her. That was my ex.
Wow.
Okay. She said, and she was from Georgia. I'm not Georgia, the whole Georgia, Atlanta. That's what she thought she was from. And but boy, I don't know. I'm saying again, I don't know what they eat, but it can cloud the mind. I'm just saying. Look at. And see what me. I keep you out of my business from day one. I don't care what you think. I really don't. Love you. My family is close. We disagree, but we never fall out. Try not to. And if we have a disagreement, we stop it where it falls out, and we go our separate ways. And we'll see you at the next barbecue or the family gathering or the dinner or whatever it is. But we're not gonna have no uproar. We try that. We're not gonna have that. Go home. We'll talk about it later. But we're not gonna have that. But if there's something that's going on in our individual houses, you mind your business.
Yeah. It ain't got nothing to do with you.
No, that ain't got nothing to do with you. I know. I understand what you're saying, but you leave that right where it is. If something's to what you're saying, it'll come out. But don't you get involved in that.
Do you not appreciate them at least? Do you not appreciate them at least trying to show you something?
I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, to keep the family together, you stay out of my business, and I stay out of yours. Because see now we can't divorce each other. We can't have a point where the next time we gather, we're gonna gather at each other's funeral. We ain't gonna have that one. We're not gonna meet at the jail. No, we're not doing that. We're not gonna post our business on Facebook. We're not gonna do none of that. We're not gonna have no drama. So what you're going to do is, I hear what you're saying. Now go home.
Wow.
That's what you're going to do. And what we're going to do is, until I'm going to see, sooner or later, I'm going to see. But I don't care how long it takes. We just don't come to your house. How about that? Because love you.
So Susan, with that being said, and I don't mean to cut y'all, brother, but with that being said, haven't you selected her over your family or your close friends or whatever? Haven't you picked her?
My choice. That was my choice. My family. It's not necessarily because I can't select anybody over my family. That's without saying. Period. I mean, that's my brother. That's my sister. Even mom and dad at a younger age. Even mom and dad. Mom, dad, we'll see you later. Love you. I'll come back later.
Wow.
Even if I have to leave her home, because mama has things. She'll say that wench. Mom's there. That boy, dad would say, boy, and that's all he would say.
Wow.
Because that was dad. He would say, boy.
And from that.
Yeah, I mean, so it would take time for me to see. But the thing about it is, that's all he would say, and go back to minding his business.
508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? There's a lot going on in this thing, man. And do we get clouded? As men, do our vision get clouded by certain skills that she might have?
Does the sun rise every day?
Okay.
That's natural, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, look, if you ain't careful, you'll catch a little baby boy checking out a woman. I mean, I was a very managed little boy, man. I mean, I can remember at a very young age saying things and doing things that, the women thought it was cute. They couldn't believe that was coming out that cute little boy mouth like that. That I even had that on my mind. So I mean, that's physical attraction, man.
Yeah.
That's physical attraction. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody doesn't have the same level of standards when it comes to attraction. What this man likes or thinks is attractive or beautiful or sexy or hot, the next man might think is average. It reminds me, I got a couple of buddies, you know what I'm saying, that, when they say that, man, there's some women over here, man. I asked them, are they bad? Oh, yeah, they bad. Man, I met one. I saw one earlier. Ooh, she was so bad. They get to talking.
Yeah.
But I done been around them enough to know that I got to be like,
Yeah.
I already know. I know your standard, buddy. We done been in the car together before, and you want to yell out the window, and I had to tell you, man, don't do that when you in the car with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't be hollering at that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we definitely will, based off our physical and sexual attraction, what we like. We would definitely and it doesn't have to be what she can work with, because sometimes it look good.
Yeah.
But it get in the bed and it's like a log.
Exactly.
Still. You be like, wait a minute, man, ain't you number? You ain't flexible. What? You got a cramp. This is terrible. You look too cute to be like this. Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it ain't got to be with what she's working with. Sometimes it could be just what the package is wrapped in.
So Prince threw Kim Kardashian off the stage. He said, get off the stage. He threw that girl off the stage,
man.
Here.
He said, I seen that tape. You wouldn't work 2 cents.
Yeah. Wow. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis. What's on your heart? Look, and friend, Houdini had that song, Friends. If she took him, then he was never mine. But in back of your mind, it was just another line. Sometimes you think the friends be trying to manipulate and connive and take what you got because they see something in him that not for you, but for them. Toya with a T. Go, yeah. We might have lost her for a second. Charles, handle that for me, man. What do you say to that?
right, you said Friends. You said the song. What was that? Houdini.
Friends, Houdini. Yeah, Houdini. Yeah.
And go through. Say that again.
See, if well, he's talking about the girl say that if she took him, that he was never mine, but in the back of your mind knew it was just another line. But so what I'm asking is, do you think sometimes even some of your boys could be looking at the girl like, man, look, she sure look good for me, but not for you, but for me? Where they trying to manipulate and connive and backdoor you, if you will.
Well, you got guys, man, that's gonna be like that. You got people that you call your boys, or people that you call your friends are gonna be that way anyway. But the thing about it is that if you can take a woman from me, then she wasn't mine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a hard thing for somebody to do, but good riddance. You know, I always look at it as their loss. You know, that's just how I am. Mm-hmm. So, but that is true what you're saying. If a person can do that, manipulate a person to go away from a person, and that person wasn't honestly probably worth having anyway. Mm-hmm. You know, that was the thing that your family was trying to tell you.
But she looks so good. She looks so good.
Don't matter. Look, that don't matter. I ain't finna fight for nobody.
Now, I ain't gonna. If you want,
I will protect you. Mm-hmm. I will protect you, but I ain't fighting for you.
I tell him in a minute, if you want to leave, you ain't got to worry about me fighting. Go ahead on. I'll open the door. I'll open the door.
As my mama used to say, let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you.
Okay, Ibrahim. Okay, Ibrahim. You about to look at Ibrahim rubbing off on you, brother. Ibrahim rubbing off on you. Ibrahim, what do you say to that, brother? What's on your heart? Talk to me, Ibrahim. Is he frozen over there? I think Ibrahim is frozen. Rico, what do you say to that, man? And that's just a mechanism that people use sometimes to deal with the situation. If you took him, that he's never mine, or blah. If she took him, he's never mine. That's just a defense mechanism that people try to use to protect their feelings. In the end of the day, that person is hurt, Rico.
Sometimes, you know, it depends. If that person really is needy, you know, if he's the type of person or she's the type of person that can pretty much have their pick and choose who they want to talk to, when they want to, they have takers, then, you know, really and truly, they could just cough that up. Mm-hmm. Go on about your business. I got plenty more. Your laws, just like Charles said. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, if that does happen, they might end up calling you back. I messed up. He told me this and that about you or whatever, you know. But me personally, when you know, I'm observant of the type of guys I hang around too.
Yeah.
I listen to the comments they make about other people's situations, their principles, mm-hmm. their ethics. You know what I'm saying? And when you hear certain situations, they'll come up and they'll agree to justifying a man doing that. Then I know I don't want them around my close circle, because me, I feel like, number one, I don't compete with no man mm-hmm. for a woman's attention. Mm-hmm. So she has a lot of takers and she's getting a lot of attention and she's entertaining these people. I let her have that attention. Yeah. I ain't fixing to compete with you. Mm-hmm. But then the second side of it is if your woman approached me, I would have to turn it down, because there's too many other women out there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So there's no need for me to have this one that I know you feel this way about. Mm-hmm. You know, so if I even hear another man say, well, you know what, man, if she came and bring it to you, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna turn it down? Well, mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure am.
I'm gonna turn it down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you just can't sit back and say, well, just because she offered it to you, you ain't got no choice but to take it. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, that's almost like saying, well, you know what, since they left the cash register open, you might as well take the money.
Yeah. Woo! You're locked up.
So I don't think that's an opportunistic person. I just don't believe in, you know, get what's yours. I think mm-hmm. that's the, you know, mindset. I'm gonna get mine and you got to get yours, and this dog eat dog world, that mindset. Mm-hmm. You know, and I've come up around a lot of men that thought that way. You know what I'm saying? Every man for himself, they call it the street code.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't get down like that. I feel like that's once again an excuse. Street mm-hmm. code. It just dismisses principles all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. We're talking right now about if you're in a situation, if you're in a relationship, you have a real close knit family and friends. You've been dealing with this young lady or ladies. You've been dealing with this guy for 3 months, and you know that your close knit family and friends just don't like this person. They just don't like him. Would that affect your relationship? Would that affect how you move forward with your close knit family and friends? Or what do you do in a situation such as that? Leonard, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem, and the Morning Glow family.
Man, how do you deal with a situation like that? Leonard, does it even matter that your close knit family and friends don't care for her?
Depends on what it is, what problem they got with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I use it. So, you know, just if somebody don't like folks for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
If you just don't like it, that's just because of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you don't like her or what have you. Maybe something as trivial as you may not like her weight.
Mm-hmm.
You may not like her hair color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might not like what side of town she's from. You know, people got a lot of reasons for being messy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I would take into consideration, but you have to tell me something factual.
Mm-hmm. Give me something concrete.
Not liking her is not good enough.
Give me something concrete and not just based on I got this feeling. I just got this feeling about her. Okay, well, you deal with your feelings over there. Unless until you got something that you could tell me that makes sense. I'm not too overly concerned about your feelings.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I am about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, you know, it's sometimes people try to tell you coach things, but they don't want to come right out and tell you because they don't going to respond, right? You know what I mean? And then especially they can see in your eyes, they know they need to tell you. Hell, I could have been telling them.
There you go again. There you go again. There go another one, Rico. There was another one.
What, a cuss word?
Yeah.
What I say? Okay, anyway. Anyway, I've been there with that one, but I don't want to tell you that. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That used to be my girl.
Oh Lord! Now the brother's singing. Now the brother's singing. Go ahead, Ibrahim.
Hey, that's life, man.
Yeah.
You know, our grandparents. They used to be. You know, the first thing our grandparents used to do, they used to find out who the girl family is.
Mm-hmm.
Family, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you get an experience, you got to get a broader picture with the person. You ain't trying to look at her mother, but I know time ago when I married a family, I married not only the woman, I married her kids. I married her grandmother, her mother, you know, her dad, a whole family that's close to her. I'm married to them. And that's a good thing because if the girl ever cross you and the aunt start waving at you and blinking her eye, you know, they be telling that man ain't no good. And then they be over there, they be touching you and everything, you know. Yeah. So, okay, either I'm a damn good, I'm a good man, excuse my language, I'm a good man, or she trying to tell me something. God is trying to tell you something. You know? Oh
Lord, Ibrahim, singing it. Ibrahim, you stay right there for a second, brother. Hey, Toy, you want to take you back with us? Appreciate you, Ibrahim. Toy, you back with us? Tucson, how much of a responsibility do we have? Toy, you there, Toy? Okay. Tucson, how much responsibility do we have? If do we have a responsibility to make sure that we go above and beyond to make sure that we fit into her close circle of friends, or do we just go with our everyday life and just deal with it as it comes? Do we have any responsibility in that?
To friends?
Yeah, to her family, close knit family and friends. Do we have to go extend ourselves to make sure that they do like us or that we interact with them in some kind of way, or should we just concentrate on? Huh?
Tucson? Go ahead, Toy. I mean, I'd say no too, because I could care less. I mean, you know, you try to see who they are mingling with, what type of family they got, what type of friends they got. Because I want to know what type of friends they got in case I want them away from me.
Yeah.
Because some friends have drama. And so I want to meet them, but then I got to avoid them. We're not going to their house. You can go, but bye. I'll see you when you get back. I'll let you.
And shake your clothes off when you come here, because I don't want them roaches coming in my house.
Bring that demon back.
None of them bugs.
Lord Jesus, boy, y'all are something else. Toy, you want to talk to me, sis?
Yeah, Raheem, you too much. So, I think that, it's tricky being a people pleaser. It's tricky because you want the person that you're trying to be with, family to like you, friends to like you, things of that nature. But see, that's where God come into play, man. That's why God and Jesus got to be your only focus, man. Because those are the only two that's really on the up and up, right and right.
Mm-hmm.
Them the only two that even are gonna be able to just be cool with you as who you are. When you start trying to make these humans happy, I feel like it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
So I believe, if you're in a relationship with a person, you be in a relationship with that person. A lot of people like to say you're in a relationship with the whole family, but this is a twofold situation. You cannot allow your family and friends to get involved in your relationship. So that means you got to keep your mouth closed, quit running them, telling you all your business. Because the first time y'all get into an argument, you gonna still love him, but your friend's gonna be mad because of what y'all went through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not fair, because they still won't be mad, even though they shouldn't be. They don't even understand they shouldn't be, because you done got over it, you went back to them, and all this, that, and the third. So it's a real thin line when dealing with relationships. So I believe people are supposed to. I know sometimes we want to go to people for comfort, but you got to go to someone who's going to be non-biased.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to keep your friends and family out your business, because they're not going to know how to deal with things. And sometimes your man might be telling you, yo, I don't like your friends here. You married, your friend's single. And they always want you to meet Billy. But they talk about they don't like me. But every time you go out with them, they don't respect your gangster that you're married or in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can't blame it on nobody else but you. The two individuals that's in that relationship, y'all need to be in a relationship. You need to understand the other person's gangster. Don't be wanting nobody to change. Listen, I know my family retarded. I know it. It ain't nothing a man gonna do or tell me to get me to stop messing with my family, period.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I will never tell that dude to not stop messing with his family, period. I don't care how crazy they are. If I can't get with them, I just can't get with them. Maybe it's me and you, baby. You know I'm not going over there for Christmas because we don't mix. You know what I'm saying? But the two people in the relationship, they got to be strong. They got to be happy. They have to come to a common decision that we're going to be together, me and you, and not allow all these people, but trying to make somebody happy other than your spouse. I think that's the most disrespectful thing to do. Yeah. If you're nice to the people outside than you are to me and I'm your spouse, I got an issue with you, partner.
Let me ask you this, Toya, and I've heard it said a lot of times, and you tell me what your take is on it and how you feel about it. When you marry this person, say you marry him, are you at the same time, are you indeed marrying him and his family?
Well, that goes both ways, right? To an extent. But when we are adults, I still handle my family and you still handle yours. You're absolutely right, because let me tell you something. We are one now. So that means if something happened and my family needs a place to stay, needs to do this, needs to do that, you're going to have to adopt that and deal with it. Same for yours. But I'm the one that gets to handle them. I'm the one that gets to check them. You don't get to intervene when I get ready to check them, or you know what I'm saying? Now you can come to me and say whatever, but yeah, we married each other's families, but you still handle yours and I still handle mine. And whoever it is, we got noise on the line, y'all. We got to mute the line, y'all. I don't know why we still got mute the line.
Yeah, somebody got. Yes, sir.
I want to. Oh, you said something that struck a nerve.
Toy, you're striking nerves this morning. Go ahead, Toussaint.
They can't stay with me.
Oh Lord, come on now. You know, then hold on now. Now you telling me if Ray and Pookie and them have situations going on in their house and they get kicked out, they can't come and stay with you. Now you married their sister.
I will bring you a sandwich to your car.
So, Toussaint.
No.
If you marrying a woman that's all about family, then you can't marry her then. Because if she's telling you in the beginning, I'm all about family, you know, they need to come stay, and you say that y'all can't stay, but y'all keep going forward and something happens and her family got to come stay, you're going to cause a conflict. So that means you don't need to be in that relationship.
No, but let me say this, and I don't know. I don't want it to. I know I'm out of time. But right,
Yes.
Do you know how much issues that you have when you have too many grown people staying in one house?
Yeah, a lot. Yes, sir.
You think you got problems? Love them.
Katrina.
But you think they stay with me. And I'm not gonna go stay with them. Oh no, I shoot. Bring me a sandwich to my car. I'll be all right. But the light bill go up, the water bill go up. Close the refrigerator. Wait a minute, you walking around in your drawers. Now
wow.
Oh, really? No.
Ain't gonna happen.
I'm just saying. That ain't good. His Uncle Charlie, he coming in now, he walking around in his muscle shirt. Talking about, boy, your girl, boy, she got some. Man, get out of here.
Let me go to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I agree with Dawn on that. You know, then because you know, if you start bringing people around as adults, man, they gonna, you know, it won't last long. You won't be able to get along too good. But then I think if that was a situation like maybe their house caught on fire, you know, that it might be a situation where if they do come into your house, they're gonna be too distraught to even do the things that would aggravate you, and you probably gonna be too in, I'm gonna say, sympathy for them to get on your nerves. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, in a time like that, it depends on what happened. You know what I'm saying? And you know that this person is in need. That compassion might kick in, and you might say, well, you know what? I like my privacy, but man, they ain't got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know, and they just burning, and the last thing they need to hear is somebody say, you know, oh hell no, y'all can't come over here. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
now there go Rico. Now there go Rico. Ibrahim. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Rico ain't never used no word on here.
I got a question. You know what I'm saying? Cause we was talking earlier about the family members not liking the spouse. And you know, people saying, man, I don't know about her. I just got a funny feeling. You say, man, I don't care what you feeling. But what if that's your grandmama telling you, baby, I got a bad feeling about this one right here, man. It's a lot of stuff I'm seeing that just let me know that she ain't quite up to the standards of what a woman is, you know, woman is, you know, it's expected of a woman. You know, I know women now can look in her eyes and tell she a little Jezebel, that thing hot. But you don't see it. You know, and you know how we feel about grandmama's intuition and mother's intuition and the women in our family that really, like I said, they have some principles and standards about themselves. Some of them might be a little out there. They might be, you know, a little more liberal, but at the same time, they still good with that intuition to be able to read people because they know birds of a feather. Or they know, okay, I can look and tell by the way she's carrying on that she in it just for herself. She ain't in it for him. She can tell by the way she's interacting with you and everybody else that she don't even know how to speak to other people. She don't know how to hold a conversation because she's ashamed. She out of place. She a rat.
Rico, let me ask you this question.
You don't
let me ask you this question real quick. What if you find out? Now, what if you find out in the course of you really in love with this girl, and somebody in your family very well off, and they say, look here, I'm gonna write you a check for $10,000 to get missing. I'm gonna write you a check for $10 million to get missing, get away from my son, and don't see him no more, don't come around him or nothing like that. Now, would it make a difference to you, whether she took the money or if she decided not to take the money, and then later on down the line she told you what they tried to do? How would that affect you? If she,
I mean, if you saying that somebody stole a woman, they give her $10 million and not be with me.
$10,000. Yeah, $10,000. I'm gonna give $10,000. Just get, I know that you're not the one for my son. You're not the one for him. I'm gonna give you $10,000, and whatever excuse you have to make, you have to be gone and never come back. Now, if she took it or if she did not take it and told you later that somebody offered it to her, what difference would that make to you? Either way.
I mean, Yeah, I'm just gonna say that ain't no money. You know what I'm saying?
But if she took it,
and then if she
one at a time,
if
y'all.
she did take it, if she did take it and come back, you know, she still went against their deal. She came back when they said to never come back. So I'm gonna look at that as, you know, she took that little 10,000 and said, man, you know what? I finessed him. That fool had the nerve to come off of me 10,000 to leave you alone. He knew I wasn't finna leave you alone, baby. I took that top money and I came right on back and I took that 10,000 and turned it into $1 million.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm gonna say, there you go, baby. I'm gonna take her home back because she finessed him. She broke the deal.
Okay.
So I mean, you know, that you might want to come with a different scenario because that one now, man, I don't know if you're gonna get the answer that you might have been.
Well, see,
you still gotta answer that about the grandmama, man. What if your grandmama got this? What if your grandmama got this intuition?
Well, you know, I'm gonna listen to my grandma now. You know that grandma, that's the world to me. Now, hold on, now grandma done said this. Yeah. Grandma said, now grandma.
That changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, right, that changed up a lot.
Said, you know, you like, wait a minute now, I gotta pay attention. Grandmama know. I've been around a lot of women, and women know women.
Now, grandma, you know, now, see, you changed the whole game when you say grandma. You changed it.
For who?
For
everybody,
me.
grandma not like that.
But for me, I'm just saying, I can only speak for me. For me, you know, that changed the game. When you say grandma say that baby, that girl ain't for you. Yeah, look at here. Hey, Sonya, it's been nice knowing you. I hope everything works out very well for you. I wish you the best. But we over. We over. Let me go to VP. VP, good morning. How you doing this morning? We got VP or we got Friday?
Good morning, y'all.
There you go, my man.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
The T and Rico. I'm good.
Yeah, no, what happened?
Now you found out that somebody
why are y'all speaking about my life?
Uh-oh.
Verbatim.
Come on now. Somebody offer somebody some money?
Telling my life.
Somebody offer some money?
Now, I would laugh at that one. My family ain't got that type of money.
Okay.
$10,000. $10,000, we might take that one. No, I do have that matriarch type of family. Where when my grandma was alive, and we was almost like Game of Thrones people. Bring her up to grandma bless them. If grandma didn't bless them, they were gone. It was my grandma raised me. Like
me too.
So you know, I had my mom around, but my grandma raised me. So growing up, her opinion was very, very important to me. And when I got married the first time, my practice marriage, but I shouldn't have never got married. But I was trying not to live in the dorms in the military, young dumb, want to get out. So when I brought her home, this true story, no lie, I brought her home, and my grandma looked at her, and my mom looked at her, and then the auntie looked, and it's like, she's a no-go. She won't fit in. So, I mean, prior to that, I had already had ill feelings. And when they, you know, resonated that feeling for me, it was easier for me to walk away. Now, fast forward to where I am now, we're married going on 14 years this year. I was the same thing. But when I brought Friday home, Granny had a stroke. So there was she couldn't speak. It was just a smile or a wink or a nod. And then I had to make the choice because the family around me was still bickering back and forth. They wasn't sure. Friday's not like my first one where she's dull and boring, but she's a mover and shaker. She don't sit still. So when women see that, they come up with their own opinions about stuff. And I used to have that in me where I wanted to listen to my aunties all the time. And then once you realize, you know, I started getting into the word. I started hearing what God was saying about me. And I started hearing what God was saying about my wife. And I started hearing what God was saying about my marriage. And I started to get clouds pulled away. And I realized that my aunties didn't stay married. And they always had people circling around. And my mom, she was, you know, she almost ran a brothel. And so decisions that they were trying to make on my life wasn't affecting them. because they were trying to live their life through me on a marriage. Because that's what I was trying to. As I've gone through this whole journey, I realized that one of my generational curses is to run away when times get hard.
Yeah.
Because independence is something that works. It's something that works with the family. So if you can't identify those type of things, if you got somebody that comes in from another family, because even me, when I was looking at her family, I thought they were cornballs. I ain't never seen so many religious people in my life that, holy God, blah, 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 blah. But then once I got to know them and I slipped through the cracks and seen who they were, I was like, oh, this is facade. Y'all just as jacked up as we are. Y'all just learned to sugarcoat it. If you don't slow down enough to get to know your spouse or your partner to where it's just y'all, where you got to really understand that word cleave. Cleave don't mean just hang on to and cling to them, but cleave means I'm gonna like you regardless if I'm in a good mood, a bad mood, an unnatural mood, in a sexy mood. Cleave means whatever ideals I used to have, they are now yours.
Good deal. Hold right there, brother. Let me pull some more people. Got quite a few people on the phone line just waiting to say something. We got Badger. He just came in with it as well, so I got to go in order which they came in. Cassandra, you was next on the totem pole. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning, and how you feeling this morning?
Good morning. Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay. What's on your heart, Cassandra? How do you feel about this whole? You've been listening in for a minute. How does one deal with this situation?
In my family, my grandmother raised me. I grew up with my grandmother, but she had a colorism thing. Like if a guy was dark skinned, she was like, "We don't want no dark skin." She used to call them Ninkies or something. Ninkies babies around here, so she didn't even want you to date people that were dark skinned.
Wow.
That's what she would say. Oh yeah, and she was very plain about that. She was part Indian, had good hair, brown skin. I had two sisters that are real light, and then there's three of us that are on the darker side. Like brown, dark brown. But she really had that thing. But this is the crazy thing. She always said that to us. But my son's father was chocolate. And that was his first grand. And when he was born, all of that went out the window. So you gotta do this for yourself. You gotta make the decisions based on you and God. What is it that God says about the person? And that's the most important thing. I didn't do that until later on in life, but I realize now that would have been my best bet from the beginning, to let God show me who my mate is. Not anybody else. They may not be the best looking, they may not have the most money, but if God puts it together, it's gonna be all good. I mean, not all good, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the right one for you.
Exactly. Curtis, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? Good morning to you. How you doing this morning?
I'm all right, man. I'm just listening. Just listening.
No comments?
Nah, I don't have.
Okay, cool. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
It's very, like you said, so everybody ain't a good guy. Like my man VP was just saying, you got people sitting around not liking folks for things that have nothing to do with what you're searching for. And also, like my grandmother's with my current wife was like, she got good sense. That makes her a good catch. There was a woman I didn't marry because of my mother did not care for her, but that was my mother's reason. I'm not gonna let my mother and them dictate to me whom I associate with like that. So I think it takes a minute to learn women and because every man don't want no great decent woman. That may not be what he into. You may bring some, if it's just for a companion or whatever, you know, you never know. But I'm assuming you're talking about marrying someone, or this person is introduced because they a fiance of some type or something like that.
You're going to take it to a totally different level. Yes.
Right. Yeah. But, you know, if I'm going to take it to that level, that's what I'm going to do. I remember our bishop saying, stop trying to hook me up. You don't know me like that. You don't know me like that. He said, I appreciate y'all, but when it comes to the woman that I'm going to be laying with, that's my decision. Solely my decision.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pick what I want, not what you want. And I always remembered that. And, you know, because lots of been through that situation where it turned out where it didn't work. But you know what? We went quite a ways. So everybody not going to agree. Some people may, like I said, a woman can raise a man, but she can't raise him no further than the man that she would want. You know what I'm saying? That may leave a lot of stuff out when it comes to being a man. If imagine these women who ain't never had no man and been married to no man raising boys, and they ain't never got what they wanted. That boy gonna feel some type of way. He's gonna have some man come along and help him out on this particular subject in this issue.
Feel the voids.
Yes. On and listen to some male experiences, because I'm surely you don't come with it. You know what I'm saying? You look around and you say, okay, but VP, like VP said, but if they ain't got no man, I mean, come on, man. They got men coming in and out of their life like rain. How they gonna tell me anything?
Exactly. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We'd love to have your input. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Man, that's an interesting conversation. I think a lot of things depend on mindset. You know, when I first came on, I heard about, you know, multiple adults living in the same house. I think that depends on if you live the typical American way or if you're community oriented. And as far as like deciding who you're going to marry, and your family's influence on that, the way my grandma taught me is if I meet a woman that I can support and she supports me and has a good heart, why not? Like if the heart's right, the heart's right. So it's, to me, when the family gets involved, it's more of the concept of responsible for yourself and to others. So if you see your family members, you know, making interesting decisions, and then they're sitting there, you know, judging the person that you're wanting to be with, why hold their value over your own heart? So it's interesting to hear certain aspects.
That's good.
Because like my mother and my wife's mother, when my mom ended up meeting my wife, she literally told my wife to tell my son to obey me. So why in the world would I care about her opinion?
Wow.
And her mom did the same thing, telling me to tell her daughter to obey her. And we both looked at it and went, yeah, you're a joke. Bye.
Good deal.
So
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Be responsible for your own thoughts. and be aware of your surroundings. If it's a crazy scenario to me. It's all about paying attention to your surroundings and your environment versus, like, there's an individual I know that literally will say, I know I have problems, I'm just not ready to work on them yet. And to me, how can that person have a relationship?
Wow. Toy, you want to talk to me?
Hello? My bad. I do this.
Yeah, no, I think what Badger said is very important. Be responsible for your own mind. You know, you know your people. You know your girlfriend or whoever you're with. You should know. You should have a pretty good grip on that person within 90 days. If not, you special as all outdoors. If you're still dealing with them and don't think you got a good idea on who this person you're dealing with, a decent idea within 90 days. Supposed to be some kind of something just click and you just kind of just feel like you know each other. You know what I'm saying? If you still feeling comfortable enough to bring them around your people, and if you bring them around your people, you know if your girlfriend, if your brother always want every girl you bring home. You know if your sister want every guy you bring home. And you know if they saying something to be a hater or not. So moving forward, you got to have your own mind because it's only you, you know, that's got to live with those consequences and repercussions. You know, okay, so everybody, grandma and mama ain't on their side, unfortunately. Let's be 100.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody, peoples ain't on the up and up. Some peoples is grimy. And you just cannot afford to listen to their advice or what they think because they don't have a true agenda. And you need to be able to recognize and notice that. You know, but ultimately, when you get ready to make a decision or a commitment with a person, you just got to keep your head on the swivels. I forget who, I feel like Rico said that the other day. You got to keep your head on the swivel. You got to be prepared because you just never know from the person you're dealing with, from people that are around you that you think should have your best interest. Sometimes you just never know. So that's why, again, it's just best. Keep your head on the swivel. You know, listen, pay attention because sometimes people do know things. Sometimes people instigate, right? Talking about they want to help you. Oh. So I sent my girlfriend over there to try to talk to him because I wanted to know how faithful he was to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then what? You know what I'm saying? Okay, now he was weak, but he weak in the instance because you sent somebody over there purposely to go intentionally hard. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta that's why you gotta keep God first. And you gotta have somebody with a superior power to be able to help guide you, be the light to your footsteps through some of this foolishness, man, because humans are special. And you never just can't tell, man. So just keep your head on the swivel. And like Badger said, have a mind of your own and just try to make sure you do the right thing.
Exactly. Tucson, talk to me, brother. Do we become weak sometime?
Yeah. It take a while. And 30 days, 90 days, you said 90 days?
Yes.
You better still be looking. I'm just saying, because people wear masks at the beginning of the relationship.
Yes, sir. No.
Candy, take them out and all that kind of stuff. And they open the door and they do all of this. And she wear her, man, look, these days, you better check the Adam's apple. And they got their feet too big. That ain't their hair.
Your hair was long,
because you
now
better
it's
be
short.
careful
You say,
because
I got it cut.
you heard that deep voice. You better pay attention. It popped out. It snuck out. Lord have mercy. She ain't even a woman.
Get the laugh, and then all of a sudden say, ha, ha, ha. Whoa.
Man, you tripping. Wait a minute. You got to lose. Anyway, I don't want to go that far. But at the end of the day, I think that most of the time you just have to let people learn for themselves and back out.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I mean, if you're concerned, be careful about how you share your concern.
Mm-hmm.
Let them hear their concerns, but then you got to be aware of where you going. And I'm just careful about having folks in my business.
Yeah.
Regardless, let me bump my head. I'm because my family know me very well. And they say, Uncle Donald or Donald or bro, I know you don't have no problem asking for your name back. Give me my name back. Go on about your business. So they're okay, bro. I know she boy, man. But and so you have to listen to that, but at the end of the day, if you get to the point, and this is just in relationships, we have too many people in our business. We talk too much.
Yeah.
Do not share with your homeboy if you having kind of intimate moments or your homegirl. Boy, he or she, sure boy, I tell you. And then they're listening, and before you know it, they plotting to see what you got.
Wow.
What you working with.
Hold right
and
there.
Still, okay.
Yeah, your 3 minutes have ran out, brother. I'm gonna come right back to you. Don't go.
I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
No, you good, Cassandra. Are we too open? Are we too open in certain situations with our relationship, with our information? Like Tucson was just saying, some things you just don't want to tell certain people or anybody about what your activities are. Cassandra, are we too open sometimes?
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are, because I deal with a lot of women that have a tendency to tell in detail. I don't want to hear it, and I usually cut them off. That's the term TMI.
Yes,
that's too much information for me. I don't need to know that. I mean, if I'm counseling somebody and they're saying, well, hey, he doesn't want to do it at all, and it's hurting them, I'll listen in that situation. But for a woman or man to just tell me about their exploits in the bedroom, that's TMI. I don't need to hear that. That's not for me to hear.
Yeah.
Not as a friend or as a counselor. I don't need to hear that.
Wow. Curtis, what do you say about that? What is too much? If you're in a counseling session with somebody, you're helping them through, what is too much information? What is TMI?
What do you mean? What is TMI?
Too much information.
If I'm in a therapy session?
Yes.
If I'm in a therapy session, there is no TMI.
So if they get to tell you about the bedroom activities and how they do it and breaking down the anatomy and all that stuff, that's not too much information.
No, that's breaking boundaries. That's not TMI, but you gotta understand something too. You gotta understand that as a therapist, this behavior right here is connected to something else. So you may have to, as a therapist, man, a lot of times you got to okay, let me put it like this right here, and I'm going to make this quick. America, get out your own way. Get out your own way. Because when you're dealing with people, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. The situation, the circumstances may have absolutely nothing to do with you. Get out your own way. Get out your own feelings. Let people live their life, right? And if their life is in disarray or their life is a form of disorder, we'll check it. Then you check it. But I did want to comment on the family thing. I grew up in a family that didn't believe in talking mess about anybody's significant other. And I'm grateful for that. My grandmamas did not do that. if my grandmamas did that, then your significant other, obviously, your significant other had to have done something that was beyond the pale. They just did not believe in that. They believed in, once you chose somebody that was for you, they believed in prayer, and they believed in, you know, that's your business. My grandmom used to tell me all the time, your business ain't everybody's business, and everybody's business ain't yours.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I think it's both. You know what I'm saying? I think on one level, from a therapy point of view, one level it is too much information, but at the same time, it's valuable information because it shows you her behavior or his behavior.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're giving you an example of who they are, how they carry themselves. And they might break out and start telling you about how good they like to serve up men in the middle of you talking about their expenses and their economy in the home, the finances. Or maybe talking about being bipolar or paranoid schizophrenic. And she just throw in something sexual in there. Then you know another character trait, another personality or behavior thing. You know, so it is too much information on one end, but on the other end, it's valuable information because it's letting you know, man, this is how she behaves.
Mm-hmm.
She's a sexual person. Might be a nymphomaniac. Mm-hmm. Who knows? But for some reason, that has a prevalence in her mind for her to even go there, and this ain't even the point of the topic.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it could be, you know, either or, you know, depending on how you look at it and how you take it. If you're the therapist and you heard what you said, and then all of a sudden you start getting a blood rush, ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, that was too much information.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could take that information and say, okay, you know what, man, I see how I got to handle her because she think with her body parts too.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got to approach her in a different way because I see that this is very important to her. And that is one of the reasons why she makes the decisions she makes, because everything has a lot of, she can't get away from the sexual aspect of things. Mm-hmm. So it's important to a certain extent, but I think I could give somebody something out of this conversation. Some things are automatic and natural. People being physically attracted. People making decisions to be with who they want to be with. You know, I think 99.9% of the people in this world or in the United States, if they ain't under a situation where they're in arranged marriages, get with who they want to get with. They don't care what who got to say. I think it's very rare that you find parents that have enough control or family members that have enough control over another family member to dictate who they're going to give with her and influence them enough to decide, I ain't going to be with her, unless they just tell the worst lie you could think of.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, you know, they can sabotage her character. So, you know, I think it's obvious that we're going to pick and choose who we want to choose. And the problem may be the fact that we don't listen to our elders, our family members. Some of those family members that really have known us all of our lives and can tell that, number one, we must be changing up a little bit. And number two, this person is a bit out for our best interest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's obvious that, and very rare that people choose or get rid of mates based off how their families feel, because look at the divorce rate. Mm-hmm. Look at the single parent, the household without two parents in it. Obviously, somebody was getting with the wrong people because they ain't still with them.
Exactly.
So maybe we should have been listening. But at the same time, it does depend on who your family is or who the person is that's giving you this advice. If you came up in a family where your grandmother, your mother, your aunt, all your family members really looked out for your best interest to the point where even they held you accountable when you were wrong and wouldn't allow you to dog other women out, allow you to be unfaithful or mislead people to, well, I'm trying to think of the word.
Wrap it up from Rico.
To actually deceive people. Mm-hmm. If you come up in a family where people hold you accountable for doing stuff like that and forbid you to be deceitful and low down, 9 times out of 10, if they come and telling you about somebody you with, you can trust that word.
Exactly. VP, talk to me, brother. Hold on, let me see if VP is he on. Hold on, VP. Had you muted, brother. Had you muted. You had some background noise. Go ahead, VP. Talk to me.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. I'm
like, y'all in my house. Y'all. Ryan, you been looking at my FaceTime? My Facebook. Literally, y'all are right where I'm at. I have so my family is very over sexualized. And I say we provocative. You probably see our family picture. And growing up in that household, you find yourself kind of leaning towards that here and there. But I had an auntie, just speaking on the therapy part. But my auntie therapy used to be the family. And take the picture. We got the living room full of people drinking, some people outside, cousins of them having a smoke, and come back in, there's a laughing, and then all of a sudden, if you're around, I don't know if you know, but when you're around family, a bunch of drunk, and if the atmosphere changes.
Yeah.
I had this one auntie that always over sexualized every conversation. It could be anything. She'll turn it into sex. Come find out 30 years later, as you grow up, you've been around this your life. You just think this is who she is. Come a year before she passes away, she finally comes out and tells everybody that she was molested most of her childhood. And the family only thought of her as this weird, treating her like, oh, you just a sticky drunk that wants to be whatever. But she was hurt. She was hurting. And nobody, even myself, because I didn't know her past, because she's 40 years older than me, but didn't see that this was leading towards something. And once that came out, it gave me an opportunity and the family opportunity to reassess the entire family dynamic. How many people in our family are hiding these type things? And because they're hiding these type things, they're perpetuating it through the lives of how they're raising their children and how they're trying to have us raise our children. Because they want us to avoid the hurt and pain that they went through. Because they see the signs and still feel the symptoms of things that they went through in their relationships. Like Tucson was saying, Rico was saying that a lot of people already have a history and know better. One of my aunties is one who has multiple baby fathers. So when my son was born, I don't know if y'all ever seen my son, probably not. I'm dark. Dayla or Friday is like a caramel, but her family's light skinned. You see her family, they're yellow bone. My son came out yellow bone. The first seed my auntie planted in me was, that's not your child.
Wow.
And you got to think, I'm still living with that sometimes. I believe it's my child. Don't get me wrong. I take care of my baby every day. I talking about yesterday, talking about murder and killing. That's how you get it. But you got to watch out for the seeds that's being sowed, because those things come from the enemy. It may not come from your family. It comes from something that they went through. That a stronghold is trying to be built and keep that same misstep of you trying to live your purpose.
30 seconds, brother. Wow. Cassandra, talk to me.
Yeah, VP, that what you just said is powerful, and that happens a lot in families. We see people acting out and we're judging them for years, and then later down the line, because I know in my family we did it, it was you don't discuss what has happened inside the family. And there's been a lot of damage done to me and my siblings because we were taught that. Because I was molested from 4 to 12 by my grandmother's boyfriend. And then my sister was molested as well. And we acted out in different ways. I was just mean and fighting and angry, and I would get abused. I mean, literally physically abused because I was acting out, but I was acting out because of what had happened to me. So yeah. Sometimes we don't know why our family members are acting the way they are, but hurt is going to come out in some way. It's either you're going to suppress it or you're going to act it out. And we just got to be more aware of that a lot of times that's what's happening in our families. That uncle that's a drunk, something happened. That, something happened. They just didn't grow up wanting to be a drunk, or the auntie wanted to be a whore or whatever. the case may be. So thank you for bringing that out, because that's important for us to know.
Absolutely. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis. Toya?
Oh yeah, man. I second that. VP did that. You know, that's the real behind what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The stronghold of the enemy coming to cause chaos and confusion, doing whatever he can to try to destroy any kind of unity, any kind of bond that a family may put together. You understand what I'm saying? But in this flesh, sometimes it's enough to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? That's why I keep throwing out there that that's why we need God in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to help us be clear, man, because all of those things, that's what the enemy wants. You know what I'm saying? Even if there may be some issues with the young lady or the young man that's in that relationship, maybe you can be the person to help lead them to that path or lead them to the Lord. And you know that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes we don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Even in, and I'm just going, quick story, let it go. My people told me about this particular dude. Yeah, no, I don't like to swear you, whatever. But I don't know. I just knew that God had me there for a reason. I don't know why. Whether it was to get everything back or whatever. But anyway, I found God in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I found so much power in that relationship that, you know, I did not think was no good. There was a lot of times I questioned that relationship, but I knew God wanted me there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned so much. And even if the relationship ain't nothing but to learn, I truly believe that when we do things in this life, when God say that no man can tear it apart, that means not even you. Because for some reason, I just could not get away from that relationship, regardless of how toxic it was. Now that I am away, God will still again. I didn't know why I was there. Lord, I know better. But I still knew it was a reason. But the power that I found in that, the power of healing, the power of God, who he really was, who I am, came out of that. So I'm appreciative of that relationship that I felt like wasn't no good. You know, people said it wasn't meant to be. But it's a firm confirmation that God is in control of all things.
Yes.
Even the things that don't look like He's there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. It's so many different layers on this conversation that we're having right now, man. K with an E. I hadn't come to you yet. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. Finding you.
Hey, doing well. I know you've been listening for a minute, since I wanted you to get a grasp as to what the conversation was all about. What's on your heart right now?
I was listening, but I didn't really get the grasp of what it was about.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about. Okay, let me take you back to the beginning. We're talking about you are in a real close-knit, very close-knit family, very close-knit family and friend. Your circle is very tight. You've been dating this guy for 3 months, and for whatever reason, they don't like him. The guy that you're dating. Does that affect your relationship? Does that affect how you deal with your close-knit family or friends? Or what do you do at that point? Because of the fact that they just don't like him.
I would just tell them, first of all, I ain't dating him for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And, hey, babe, we ain't got to come over here.
Mm-hmm.
And just like he need his space, he can have it. And while he getting his space, that'll be when I visit with him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that'll be on them. They don't like him.
But
they
ain't
gonna feel comfortable coming around. They're not gonna make him feel uncomfortable because of their beliefs.
Mm-hmm. But you wouldn't stop dating him.
No, I would have to stop dating him because of something I feel.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get over it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get over it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I had that to happen before, and they did get over it.
Okay. Good deal. Anybody else have anything they want to say on this particular topic, or we're gonna go more to our topic of the day? Anybody have anything they want to say on this before we move on?
Yeah, I think we threw K off a little bit because the end part was about too much information when a person just brings up sex when it's inappropriate at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
And K, we went back to the beginning, but that was the last part we were talking about, K. And BP man, he knocked it out the park. But I want to give credit to Curtis first off because he made people realize that sometimes what we consider inappropriate or out of order maybe for the I'm gonna say for the occasion or in public or whatever, but at the same time, it still is an indicator of a person's behavior. So that's why when he said that it wasn't too much information, that was perfect that he said that, because, you know, I look at it the same way. The reason why I went in that direction is because it is an indication of how that person acts. And whether we know it or not, I don't know if everybody's in the same situation I'm in, but most of the time when I receive a phone call from somebody, they ain't calling to check on me. They call them because they need some therapy. And in the process of me observing people and knowing that how people are needed, you know, I listen to these same conversations. I'm like, man, she's a freak. Man, she always talking about sex. She just nasty. But in the process of me seeing that she is carrying herself like this, like Cassandra said, that's a behavior that's acting out. That's pain. That's a lot of programming and negative training. And most people, when they are hurting and they act out like that and it's provocative and extreme and, you know, flashy like that, they are suffering from some type of pain. They suffer from some type of dysfunction. And it's good to recognize this. So you might judge them and say, well, man, I don't like to be around her because she got a potty mouth. She got a nasty mouth. But also realize that this person is probably just responding to her training, first off. And number two, the fact that she was violated, and this is how she had to carry herself to get over that pain. But it's never too much information. Everything that somebody does is an indication of their behavior. Whether it's deviant or negative or they're lacking attention or whatever it is. If somebody just being loud and obnoxious for some reason, sometimes they still lack attention. They have a need for attention. So yeah, sometimes it is too much information, but for the most part, I think it's valuable information because it lets you know how this person is.
Good deal. Anybody else? Badger?
Yeah, right.
Go ahead.
It also happened to my son. My son met this lady with 8
I'll go after.
And her mother and sister was like, he this, he that, da, 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 da. So my son just backed off. Backed all the way off. The kids is crazy about him. The little bitty baby think that's her daddy. And now they feeling like, oh my goodness, T's a good man and he keeps the kids for her. She has to go to work and all kind of stuff. They still just friends now. And the kids, because I told him you made a relationship with them kids. You can't break their heart. And when I tell y'all, it's sad. And all it was they jealous because they didn't find a man to love their kids like that. Now she done missed out because I encourage my son to move on.
Good deal.
And I
Curtis?
think I moved on.
Absolutely. Curtis, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. Let me just add what it sounds like everybody is saying. It's like right on, like it's like right on the mark, right on the beaten path. Big sis, you know, she the way she just brought that thing full circle and the way Rico just tied it all in. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of something that I tell myself as a human being, as a counselor, as a human services provider. In any aspect of life, a person is born with moderate maladaptive behavior. That's just a guarantee. That's from a baby to adolescence to from baby the infancy to adolescence. You can go through all the stages. Every person, all of us, everybody on this radio station has some form of maladaptive behavior or has had some form. No, you know what? Still has some form of maladaptive behavior, right? But when we talk about the people that we were talking about, like with TMI and all that stuff, right? I tell myself to always understand that every person is born with some form of maladaptive behavior. What is it that made that behavior extreme? Because that's extreme. That's extreme to me. That's what I call extreme maladaptive behavior. Now you could easily blame it on the culture and society because the culture and society itself has become more extreme. But even if you do that, sociologically, you have to then evaluate the culture itself and say, well, what made the culture become so extreme? So none of us are, we, like Bishop say all the time, we are born perfect. Do we live a perfect life? No, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of us have some form of maladaptive behavior. But a lot of times I have to ask myself all the time, because sometimes I want to walk away, dog. I'm telling you, if y'all could see, and some of us, most of us can, because we right there in it. But for your listening public, if you could see some of the things that most of us see, you might go to the street with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to be
30 seconds, Curtis.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, Ryan.
Yeah, you got 30 seconds, brother.
No, I think okay. The way that I evaluated this is simple. I'll repeat it. Maladaptive behavior is maladaptive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are born moderate maladaptive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, what is it that made that behavior extreme? When was it? What is it? When was it? Who was it? Why was it? And where was it?
Mm-hmm.
So I tend to evaluate my life on that.
Good deal. Good deal. Badger, you wanted to say something, brother?
Man, inappropriate behaviors. It's definitely a maladaptive coping skill. And that's me speaking from experience. There's a lot of times where a lot of groups or being around people is very difficult. And it's just, I was sitting here just thinking about everything, and my wife knew about all my issues before we got married, and she accepted them for what they were, and vice versa. And one of the maladaptive skills I have is when I'm extremely emotional and overwhelmed by life, I can say things that, and it's my way of trying to chase everybody away, to make people leave me alone. And it's a maladaptive skill.
Mm-hmm.
If I make my body flare up and I say something that's mean, people will leave me alone. It's something that I'm working on because I know it's an issue. It's not okay to be like that. So it's also learning to be aware that you have maladaptive skills or coping skills. And one of the ways to be aware of it is, especially if you're married and your spouse is communicating with you that there's, these issues, maybe you should pay attention to it. Reach out to a counselor or a therapist or, someone that could possibly help you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an honest part of life, especially in today's society. It's everything from temperament from past, temperament and issues because depending on where you live and the way people are in the area that you live in.
30 seconds, Benjamin.
But in a nutshell, most people usually have at least one maladaptive coping skill, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. We're going to go to our topic of the day. And Rico, we're going to kick it off with you, brother. Rico, you there?
Right here.
Yeah. Okay. Good deal. A lot of times when you go to somebody and you talk to somebody and you're spilling your guts and you're trying to help them, get some help or assistance in a certain way, whatever the situation is, and you're telling them what your issues are. Before the conversation is over, you can say, man, I'm going through an issue with blah 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 blah, and you're trying to spill your guts talking to a friend. Why is it that a lot of times they'll flip it around and they'll make that situation about them instead of listening to what you are going through or try to help you through? Our topic today is not about you. listen to what I'm trying to tell you. Hear me out. And let's deal with the issue that I'm dealing with before you try to pour your problems on me, because the people say all the time, you complain to somebody, before you know it, they're going to be complaining right back to you. So how do we get to that point, Rico, where people could realize it's not about you? This person came to you for help. Talk to me.
Well, I don't know how you can make somebody realize it ain't about them until you just flat out and tell them, man, shut up. This ain't about you.
Go ahead.
Quit wanting all the attention all the time. Let somebody else talk sometimes. Other people got issues sometimes. And to be honest with you, you have to break people down like that sometimes. I have to do it all the time. They call it being brutally honest. Because, man, I hear so many people that can talk on one situation, and then before you know it, they start talking about how everybody loved them. I go in there and everybody say, I love Miss this and I love Miss that. Everybody look, man, shut up. But what about this part? What was this? I try to get back to the issue you were telling me about, and they'll get on back to it, and then before you know it, they start talking about how big of a part they played again, and then I finally have to break them down. But yeah, that is unimportant. The issue is this issue right here, and now you want to get further progress. What you gonna do after that? Because just because these people like you, and when they walk in the room, they say, "Oh yeah, you a people person. You don't meet no strangers." How's that going to benefit the situation you were just telling me about? Or was that just another opportunity for you to sit back and toot your own horn?
Wow.
Sometimes you have to break people down and let them know that's what they're doing, because this world don't revolve around you. And see, I mean, and that's, man, when I tell you that's a pet peeve of mine, because I listen to people. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you do have to use your own experience as an example to get a point across.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But when somebody is opening up to tell you something that they're going through, the situation that they're going through, I always try to make sure you keep in mind that you're trying to help them with an issue. Even though you might be going through the same issue. And if you're going through the same problem, it might be wise for you to tell them, look, I can't help you. I'm going through it myself.
That's good. That's good.
But don't be an open ear. Don't call yourself being that shoulder to lean on and always telling people, call me. Because to be honest with you, that's the reason why a lot of people are committing suicide. People are so they crying out for help, and they're going around people that are so wrapped up in themselves that they don't even realize that these people aren't all right. Even though they see the smile, everybody keeping up with the image, the facade, keeping up with the Joneses. Making sure that the image is correct. You know, people like to make sure they take good pictures. But when they finish taking that picture, you can see people split apart from each other, and you be like, man, they unhappy. But in that picture perfect world, you know, everything is looking good and happy and successful. So, you know, I think, man, people get wrapped up in themselves so much to the point of where they ignore those that are around them. And it's showing in society. They lack compassion. They lack really enough empathy or compassion to listen to another person long enough before they turn around and start pumping their accolades.
Exactly. Toussaint, talk to me. It's not about you. How do you get the people to understand or realize that, man? Because if you go to somebody for some help or assistance and you telling them what your issues are, before you know it, they telling you what their issues is, and it's not about you. I'm coming to you for help. Toussaint, talk to me.
No, you see that more so now than ever. I went to a counseling session, and I had to listen in on the counselor. And I thought I was trying to get myself together, and I found out I said, well, man, here's what I do about my situation. But what I mean is, I went to get some advice, not give it. It's amazing, but here's one thing I thought about when he said that. I don't know if nobody else is like that. Well, why do we give the best advice, but we don't heed to our own? Is anybody else guilty of that?
Yes, sir.
Man. Pressure. That's what that is, pressure.
Telling you.
So we are all walking around with bust pipes.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay. To start, I'm gonna stop. That's it.
No, I'm done, but
okay. I know a lot of times you'll pause and collect your thought, and you'll keep talking. Or so
yeah, I know, but that wasn't this time.
Okay. I got you. Willow. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem.
Good morning to you, Willow. I need to hear your heart on this, man. You go to somebody for advice, and before you know it, or some kind of counseling or whatever, and before you know it, you telling them your issues, and then all of a sudden they telling you all their issues, and now you don't get up off the couch, sit in the chair, and now they laying on the couch.
Yeah, I had to learn that, Raheem. When I used to have issues and stuff, I did have a specific person that I would go to.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like everybody's saying, they would always start, giving an example of what they went through, kind of probably trying to get me to identify what they did to get out of what they did. But it's just like you said, when you're hurting and you want to get it out, you need to tell them in a nice way. But at that time, I don't think I was kind of nice. I say, just shut up, listen to me. It's not about you, something like that. But as you get older, you learn who you can say things to.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to go through that. But that's one of the things that you definitely have to do, to let people know that it's not about you. I'm trying to get some advice. I'm trying to get some help. And mostly it was my best friend. And so I talked to my best friend. And after, she learned me for a while, then we started learning each other. So it was just a matter of process as we getting older.
Mm-hmm.
You learn how to talk to other people.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Toya, what did he talk to me? They're turning on you, they're flipping on you and make it all about them. You didn't go to them for that, Toya. You want to go, you had an issue. How do you get them to understand it? It's not about you. Listen to me. What do you do, Toya?
Well, there's nothing you can do to make a person get outside themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta get outside themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just probably the wrong person you're talking to once you acknowledge the fact
mm-hmm.
that's what we're that's indeed what we're doing. We're talking about ourselves, but it happens all the time. Because all of us are hurting, believe it or not.
Yeah.
A lot of us are hurt, and we need to be forgiven for we know not what we do. I don't think some of us even pay attention to it. It's culture. Somebody made a comment earlier in the show about the behavior that you have. And it's a cultural behavior that never gets corrected. And for example, if you was molested when you was a kid, nobody never nipped the uncle in the bud, and here you are at 16 being over sexual, it's because it's accepted in your household.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew, and nobody really nip it in the bud, but that's the culture of the family. They make sex jokes. They talk about sex openly and outwardly in front of kids, things of that nature. And when you get training on what to look out for when it comes to sexual predators, they'll train you that this is what they do. It's called grooming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a part of the grooming system when we talk like that. We do it everywhere. We do it even at the office. You know what I'm saying? So it's always about us to an extent. And it isn't until we see that person have a breaking point, because as long as you're still smiling, it's always going to be about us. But you got to really see that person have a breaking point before you come outside yourself and say, oh my gosh, no, I'm sorry. Oh no, I didn't mean to make it about me. It's about you. Mm-hmm. Like you got to basically see them on their deathbed, because if not, it's still always about us. We don't pause until tragedy.
Toya, do you think people are really, and I'm just asking a question, you answer me. Do you think people are really that self-centered that they always got to turn it around and make it about them?
Well, some of us are, but I don't think it's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like girls, right? You may find some men feeling like they do things on their own because girls are just trained a certain way, and we're not purposely thinking about ourselves, talking about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're just raised differently than boys to look at ourselves a different way. So this may be an issue that men and women have. Oh, she always talk about herself and this and that and that. But it's kind of like what we do because we're girls, but no harm intended. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think as humans, we kind of do that same thing. No harm intended, but only because that's a part of self-love, and we just haven't learned how to differentiate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we haven't. If your parent never taught you, it's not about you, but you're used to getting catered for 27 years and never to think about nobody else. Like, what do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's a girl or a boy, you have to be taught, hey, don't be selfish.
Yeah.
Like I share with you, you know what I'm saying? So when you get out here, you're gonna never have no friends if you don't want to share. You're gonna never have no friends if you always want to be the winner. You're gonna never have no friends if you want to out-talk everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think it's something that needs to be taught. But when we do it, I think, like I said, it's more culturally because it's just what we used to, and we don't really pay attention to how much we're hurting the other person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
We're just numb to it until you have a breakdown.
Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, man? How do you get them to understand it's not about you? I'm not interested in what you're talking about right now. I'm trying to get help from you. How do you get them to that point, Leonard?
Well, as a consultant, people, if I'm charging you $50 an hour,
mm-hmm.
I'm listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
People who always go on talking about their business and things like that, it depends on who you're going. Why do you keep going to those people?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the strange part.
Mm-hmm.
It's because even like, say for instance, if you plan on speaking with someone, especially a friend and things like that, I would hope that people establish with other folks how they communicate with one another.
Mm-hmm.
You need to find a person that knows that this is what you're coming to them for. That person has a life. That person is an individual. And if they didn't give you permission to dump on them, why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
See, sometimes people need to learn how to ask permission and establish things up front so you don't run into these issues. If we're going to have a conversation, it's nothing wrong with saying, could you just listen to me for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you need to go so far as, could you just listen to me and let me say what I have to say before you say something? You know, so those types of things help guide a conversation. I'm not going to have an out of control conversation with someone.
Yeah.
No, I'm a professional. What I look like here, you don't came to me and you going to pay me to let me tell you about me? No.
Mm-hmm.
I have to listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to help you, how am I going to help you if I don't listen to you?
What if it's like an everyday everyday activity and it's not a counseling situation? It's just that you go to somebody and it's just a friend and you want their advice, and then all of a sudden they turn the whole conversation around, and then now they're talking about them. You have no help in what you're saying. No help came to you at all.
I doubt if you all are really friends. Because friends don't have these types of issues. Real friends, good friends, they don't have these issues among one another.
Mm-hmm.
They take turns. You know good and well, if I've talked to you about this, guess what? Yes, because yesterday I called you.
Mm-hmm.
Today you calling me.
Yeah.
Vice versa. We have that relationship. That's the pace of our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as no one's being rude, that's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good.
But now you have some people, if you have to control the people you allow to dump on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not going to control themselves if you don't say anything.
Exactly. Angel, Rodney, Barry, James, Barrett, Toofer, and Jose. Just a few people that's on the screen. I want to say welcome to each and every one of you. The phone lines are open: 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're talking about it's not about you. You go to somebody for some help, for some assistance, for some guidance, if you will, and you're telling them what your issue is, and before you know it, they're talking about their issues. They're talking about what's going on with them. They just shift the whole conversation about them, and you don't get the help that you need. Cassandra, what do you do?
Yeah, you know, people, well, it's not dumping for me because it's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
People call me on a daily basis and, you know, express what is going on with them. And I have to listen. As a counselor, that's what I do. I listen to them, and mainly that's what I do. I listen. And it's not, it can't be about me, because if you're a good counselor, and I consider myself a good one, and people consider me a good one because they come back over and over again over the years, you have to be able to let people say what they need to say. When we're in this setting, this is not a counseling session. Morning Glow is not a counseling session.
No.
So on this, we're all expressing our opinions and our viewpoints, our perspectives. That's something totally different than when I'm in a counseling session with somebody, or if a friend calls and wants to talk.
Absolutely.
That has nothing to do with what we do here. So we need to make sure that we distinguish that. On here, we're just people talking about different subjects. So it's not about, if I say, I'm doing something, that has nothing to do with me trying to counsel or make it about me. We're expressing ourselves, our opinions about a certain topic. So we got to make sure that we realize on this show, we're not counseling here.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing. We don't have a right to do that. That's not what the show is about. And it wouldn't be legal anyway. So when I talk on here, I'm not talking as a counselor per se. I'm just giving my opinions and my perspectives like everyone else. So,
Exactly.
I'll leave that there.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me see. VP, you back with us? I think we lost VP there. K with an E. Talk to me, man. K, now you go to this person, and you go into the person for counseling, that he gets some help, some assistance, and before you know it, it's all about them. They're talking about themselves. K with an E, how do you deal with that?
How did I deal with it? I said, girl, I thought I was having issues. You're having more issues than me. We're going to pray about the situation, and we're going to both be okay.
Wow.
Now, on my nephew's other hand, he quit dating the lady because he said, Auntie, every time she come over, she talking about, I look good for 50. I'm this for 50. I'm that for 50. He ain't 50 yet. He's 48. He told her, I think I look good for 48.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I said, dude, you crazy. He said, she wants to talk about herself. We can't never have a conversation. I'm going through with my kids, and she started talking about how she looked. I don't care how she looked. I said, you are crazy. But I just tell the person, hey, you having more issues than me. Let's pray.
Badger, how do you deal with that, Badger?
Which part?
Same issue.
To me, I ask people, do you need a soundboard or what? And if they need a soundboard, I just sit there and listen. And sometimes people just need to get things off their shoulder. I think to push yourself or to share things when a person isn't ready or has any interest in it, you have to be aware of where the person's at. And to me, that's being responsible to them. Some people, I have a lot of people that come to me, and it's a simple question. Do you just want me to listen? Or, are you wanting to ask me a question? Well, like, what's up? And then whatever their response is, I do the best I can. But I always refer to seek a specialist. Because the most I can share is my experience and teachings that have been passed on to me. I'm not a professional counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist. I'm just a human being that's been through a lot and learned how to overcome a lot of things. So that's the most I can offer anybody.
There you go.
So it's about being honest. It's about accepting people for where they're at. It's about serving as a vessel for God. You know, that's part of being on the path, is you are a vessel for other human beings. To me, the moment you start getting too selfish and focused on self, you've eased God out.
Yeah.
Because you're no longer a vessel. Everyone's a vessel in one way, shape, or form. Some people teach us by doing things that are native word for it, Tayoka, the clown. They do things opposite. So you learn not to do it by them serving in a way that's not okay. So to me, it's always going to boil down to mentality and where a person truly is, on both sides.
That's good. That's good. Curtis, how do you deal with it? Curtis, talk to me, brother.
How do I deal with what exactly?
Same issue, brother.
Well, I missed a part of it because my wife was talking to me.
Okay.
What's the issue?
It's we talked about it's not about you. You go to somebody for a counseling, you go to somebody for with an issue that they have in their life, in your life. You go to them with an issue that you have in your life, and you sit there, you try to talk to them. And before you know it, 5-10 minutes into the conversation, they done flipped it. Now it's all about them. They talking about them and their issues, and you have no help or no issue. None of your issue has been resolved because now they flipped the whole conversation and they're talking about them. So how do you get them to understand? Hold on, bro. It's not about you. Listen to me. How do you do that, Curtis?
I don't do that, man. That's for me. That's always a reminder from God that no matter how bad you think your situation is, somebody got it worse.
Lord.
So, both sides, I then flip my train of thought. Hearing them is a message to me. Embedded in what they say and embedded in their level of selfishness or their lack of understanding of what they need to do at this moment. There's a message in there for me. So most of the time, if I'm in that situation, I'll flip it. And now, notice this means that it's not time for me to get my issue off. Or I'm not talking to the right person, but I still can't leave this person handicapped. Most of the time, if I come to any of my friends with an issue, most of them would tell me, like, hold on, bro, like, we come to you.
Yeah.
Or they would just come out and tell me, bro, that's over my head, son. Like, I don't know what to tell you on that. And I received that as in, okay, maybe this is something I need to talk to someone else about, or maybe this is just something that I just need to work out within myself. A lot of the issues that we have in today's world, a lot of the issues that we have, it is in my opinion, that if we are willing to be truly honest with ourselves, we can get through those issues. We can gain a greater understanding of what those issues are, where they come from. You know, what is it? The 5 W's. You can understand all of that. So, but I don't take it no type of way. It's not. I just don't think. I don't think you helping yourself to get a certain type of way. I just don't. I mean, and I'm probably wrong. I'm probably being too passive, but I just don't think that you can even attempt to solve whatever issue you have.
30 seconds, Curtis.
When you close yourself off when you close yourself off to the answers that's given. I you know, that's just me though. I mean, everybody not like that.
Exactly. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Now, you know, this thing could go different ways, man. The thing is we live in a culture right now where the trend is to say keep it 100. but a lot of people don't like to keep it 100. What I do when I notice that this is a personality or a character flaw about this person, something that continuously happens, I make them aware that they do that. Why not let them know? See, the thing is that sometimes people don't know that they don't listen. Sometimes people are so self-absorbed that they don't even realize that they just waiting to finish for you to finish talking so they can say what they want to say. It was right on time for you to call them and say, hey, girl, I need some advice on getting my hair done and this and that because I'm having issues with my edges or whatever. Or a man saying, hey, man, I'm having issues with trying to get my son and this and that, and I need some advice. And then you call this person, and before you know it, you listen to them non-stop for 45 minutes, tell you everything that they've been through the last 2 or 3 days, and then going back all the way to the 90s talking about stuff. Ain't got nothing to do with what you was talking about. Make them aware of it. Okay, I just finished listening to what you're saying, but how's that going to affect, or how's that going to help what we were just talking about? How does that impact the conversation? You see, sometimes you ain't got to call the person and ask for advice. Sometimes a person can call you and say, hey, I'm having problems with my child. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're doing this and they're doing that and they're doing this and doing that. And you start listening. And then as you listen, before you know it, boom, they start talking about when they was young and how they got along and how everybody loved them. Here we go again. Me. Ain't you special? And then I get back to, okay, but pertaining to what's going on with your son, this is what he needs. Pertaining to what is going on with your child or this individual, this is what the issue is, or this is what it's important. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you have to make sure you nip it in the bud early before they get in that direction of going too far. Don't get frustrated and say it in a way to where it's not rude, but they actually hear you. And then sometimes you might have to repeat it once again. Out of all of that you said, how does that apply? How will that affect or impact the original topic? And sometimes they'll forget what they first called you for. They're like, oh, you know what? I got away from the topic.
Exactly.
Remind them. Make them aware of what they did. Don't just sit back and let it go on. See, I think that's what's really wrong with society. We sit back and watch a lot of stuff and just talk about it, but don't make people aware of what's going on. And you ain't got to be criticizing them. But the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people need to be aware that they have this flaw, and they don't need to feel like they have to be professional to be counselors or to be therapists or to give advice, because every parent on this planet is a counselor. Every parent on this planet is a therapist. If they aren't being good parents. Every parent on this planet is an advisor. And if they're not careful, when their children are going through situations, and they start reflecting it back to them. Well, when I was young, we did this. When I was young, we did that. When I was young, we had to walk a mile to school. When me. It's a different time, different day. How does that apply to me right now? How's that going to affect my situation?
Good deal. Hold right there, Rico.
I get all this professional therapists and counselors talking. This ain't no knock on nobody. But in general, in real life, that's what the elders are for. That's what your parents are for. That's what wisdom comes from. That's what knowledge comes from. And they pass that down through counseling, therapy, and advice.
Good deal.
So we ain't going to discredit nobody.
Okay. Hold right there. Hold right there, Rico.
Nobody. Everybody on here giving some type of therapy to a certain extent. It might not be legal, and it might not be asked for or requested. But at the same time, we pass it down some piece of knowledge, letting people know or making people aware of some things they may be doing and not aware of.
Okay, hold right there, Rico. Hold right there. We got to pull some more people into the conversation. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
I found out something in our that we have gone in the era sometimes, thinking that we are the best counselor because of a position.
Tucson, are you talking directly into your phone? You're a little bit low, brother.
Oh, wait a minute then. It's wide open. It's probably raggedy phone, bad reception.
Now you good. You good now. You good.
I live in Mississippi.
Lord Jesus.
Advice. And sometimes we on a spiritual sense, we say pray about it. And not having a person give the opportunity, go seek you some not legal advice, some professional advice. There's a place and a time for everything. Sometimes you don't really, like Rico is saying, you may not. You ever went to a child psychiatrist and they don't have no children? They're giving you some advice. And then you base your on their education, and you wind up now your child is unfortunately contemplating suicide.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, and then not only it's both sides of the table, because even a person that pastors and ministers, we have people come to us for advice all the time. But how many times do you say, okay, go see Curtis? Because this is not necessarily a church affair. You need to go see somebody that can really help you, because you have it's a mental state. And I know we want to put everything spiritual, but I'm just sorry. Everything is not.
I'll have to fix that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me see. We got Willa. Let me go to Willa. Willa, what's on your heart, sis?
What's I am piggybacking on what Rico said, because he put it, he nailed it, should I say? Because we're human, and we have to filter. And sometimes, it gets so overwhelming that you may have a specific person that you may filter to, but at that time, right at that time, it might be a coworker, or it might be somebody else's spouse. At that time, it's coming out. It's coming out because we need to filter. We have to filter as humans. I mean, we all don't be at the same place, but there's not one person that I know that didn't need to filter. Now, you might be at a time in your life now where you got control of it, you're identifying certain things about yourself, but there are people who are not there. So you have to understand that they need some type of filtering process in their life, or otherwise their mindset will be thinking differently. So it's important that we're there for someone, even if we have to sometimes put ourselves in the situation. We have to listen. We have to be good listeners, and we have to learn that. Everything is not an instant process. You in this life, I'm 64 years old, and I tell you, I'm not gonna ever stop thinking that I don't know. Everybody ignorant to some form. I want to constantly learn, and I've learned a lot since I've been on your show, Raheem. I have learned a lot from people's conversation, from the way people are doing things. So yes, does it help? Yes, it does. The only time it doesn't is when we don't act and when we don't open up our mouth. That's my take on it, right?
That's good. That's good. We got our public citizen has joined us. Public citizen, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Doing okay. Yeah, so I think this is something we can all relate to. I typed in the chat box, I had a friend who was really narcissistic and only wanted to talk about themselves, and like at the time I had a lot of problems, personal problems, and it always went back to him. And it was like, dang, man, I just told you something so painful and personal, and it's back to you and your problems. It was like, and there's a way to do that where you're like telling a story, and hopefully the person can learn from your story. Like here's my situation, and like maybe we have some similarity, which is kind of what happens on this show. Is a lot of times people, tell a story and they're like, yeah, that's exactly, I can really relate to that. It's really good. But yeah, I dumped that friend, and we were very, very close because it was just, this person had other mental health problems, and, eventually became a transgender woman, and which I don't really approve of. So, that's beside the point. But I guess like what Willa just said there, sometimes we we think like, oh yeah, I'm older, I'm wise, I got everything figured out, I know I have all the answers with it, whatever. But you can never stop learning, and the big part of that is never stop listening, and like really listen with your heart, you know. And sometimes the words coming out of their mouth are not the truth. You got to really go deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Hard. You know, and the other thing I thought of is like we all have different tolerances. You know, like there are certain things that I could take a lot of pain in a certain area in my life, and another person can't take any pain in that area. You know, we have different areas where we're strong or weak.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where the empathy comes in. Like you might go like, oh man, you're weak. Like why are you reacting this way? You know, that's no big deal for me. But like to that person, that issue is really, really painful for them. So I always try to just humble myself and like try to imagine how they like, because I work with kids, you know, they have a small little issue, and to me it's like obviously like, come on, that's no big deal, but to them that's
30
huge.
seconds.
So you have to understand from where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. And that's the thing. Toya, you want to talk to me, sis?
Yeah, as I was talking, I was thinking about something somebody said earlier, and it was taking advice from certain people. But again, I got to go back to that's why we need God in our life, because, you know, we can take advice from a doctor, but the doctor probably never had a heart attack or diabetes before. We could take advice from a fitness instructor, might not have never been fat. You know, you got textbook, you got experience. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have anything to do with what you got going on. I think the important part is that we all are human and we all want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to feel like we're cared about. We all want to feel like somebody gives a hoot. And in this society, in this world today, nobody cares. We don't feel like nobody cares. That's a trick of the devil. But we don't feel like our parents care, our brothers care, our sisters care, because our language and communication is different. Culture has jacked most of us up. A lot of us, we're going against the spirit, because when God created us, he created us a certain way. And so many of us are doing things out of order. We don't even know why we don't trust people no more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because we're out of order. You know what I mean? And we got to get back in alignment with something that is righteous.
Mm-hmm.
That's where God comes to that. You know what I mean? Because this conversation right here is a lot, right? Who to trust, who not to trust parents, trust boyfriend, trust girlfriend. Oh, look at all this going on. That's why you need God in your life. When I tell you, man, I was the author of a lot of confusion, a lot of hate, a lot of anger, a lot of playing games, because I was hurt. I was scared. I couldn't trust men, this, that, and the third. But I caused a lot of chaos that I know other people picked up and, you know, took on in their life, and it began a cycle for everybody that I came across.
Mm-hmm.
But dealing with God this recently, so much weight has been lifted off of me when it comes to listening to who and what, because people give you bad advice.
Yes.
Whether they textbook scheduled to tell you a certain advice because you're black, because of the modern medical system, or their experience has them scared, and they give you something that's just piss poor from the devil. At the end of the day, as long as you have a God, in the mix of all of the things that we go through in life, you're going to be all right. Because all of these things that we're talking about, this is a life for all of us. We all been through things, done through things, listened, didn't listen. Sometimes we wish we had listened. Sometimes we wish we didn't listen. That's life, and that's the beauty of it. But at the end of the day, honey, you got to have a savior in the midst of all this chaos and confusion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Nothing much, just listening.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra?
Yeah, I'm just listening.
Are we really that self-centered?
I'm just listening right now.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. K with an E. Talk to me. K, you there?
I was on mute.
Okay.
You knew I was on mute.
Look, I already knew it. I already knew it. What's on your heart, sis? Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm listening, but a lot of people are self-centered, and that's just what they are, self-centered. And I just always, I just learned to I pray way more than I used to pray. And I know that I can always get on my knees and talk to the Creator, and he ain't self-centered. So I just kind of learned to pray about a lot of things instead of trying to go to people to talk to them about it, because even if they ain't self-centered, they may take what you say into somebody else conversation because you done went to them talking to them. So I just learned from experience at 60 that you just can't talk to everybody. Everybody ain't listening.
Got that right. You got that right. Badger, talk to me, brother.
I think it's something that we need to understand a little bit. Because sometimes taking time for yourself to work through emotions, to work on self, can be very valuable. Because if you're in a messed up place, are you really going to be helpful to someone else? It's just learning not to overdo it to the point where you're not helping yourself or anybody else. So you gotta, in my opinion, you've got to weigh everything, every situation. If you're in a really bad place and you're probably not going to say a lot of good things, tell the person, I'm in a messed up mindset right now. And if they want to say that you're self-centered, selfish because of that, that's not on you. You're being honest.
Yeah.
You're not in a good mindset to be helpful. So taking time for yourself is not a bad thing. It's when you put yourself before everyone else consistently. And that, in my opinion, and how I choose to live, to me, that's usually not healthy. But that's just how I live, and that's not for everybody. So it's to me, a lot of the conversations that we were having today, to me, feels like it's mental health. Are you someone that people can lean on? Are you not someone that people can lean on? Do you have a lot of anger issues? Do you not have a lot of anger issues? To help other people, you have to know who and what you are. And that's it, I guess.
That's it. Good.
And it's simple.
Got you. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Curtis.
Well,
yeah.
Well, the most important thing is we just seen that demonstration, and folks replying to your call, replying to your statement. You heard, hey, look, I'm just gonna listen right now.
Yeah.
Is she's probably processing that she's heard. So, in processing what she heard, hold on, let me process what I gathered. Let me process the information before I put anything out, before I say anything. Well, she's probably processing what you heard from a particular person. How helpful is that to you? I think one of the biggest things for us as human beings, and I can't really pinpoint where I don't understand, okay, in human behavior, right? And maybe Cassandra could probably help me out with this. Cassandra and Leonard could probably pinpoint it more than any of us. But I've been trying to understand, where did our culture, where was it in time, or what was the moment that created this culture that allows for us to be so insensitive, while all at the same time being overly sensitive? Like, where did it happen that the demand for black and white determines what's right or what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Right? To just be obscene, obsolete, and incorrect. Like I think about stuff like that all the time. Because I don't understand, I can't understand as a human being how you can be so insensitive to the needs of others, to what's going on in our society and all of that.
30 seconds, Curtis.
It accepted as being okay when you're being oversensitive when it comes down to things dealing with you, right? But you're a part of the society for which you live in. So why, like, when did it become acceptable for the rules to apply to everybody else but not apply to you?
Absolutely.
When did it become acceptable? You know what I mean? Like, I think about stuff like that, man. Like, you know, and I'm not no guru on this thing by any stretch of the imagination. I'm still learning every day. That's why I have questions like that.
That's good. That's good. Rico, do we value the opinion that we really give to others? Do we take the time to evaluate what we say, evaluate the whole situation, and give them the best advice that we absolutely can? Do we value it, or do we just give information to move the conversation so we can get on to talking about what we want to talk about?
I think it depends on the motive of the person that's giving the advice. You know, if they have an ulterior motive or they're trying to find a way to benefit from it, they may not give the best advice, you know. So I think that all depends on the person. You know, me, if I have an agenda, if my motivation is to actually help this person, then I hope I'm giving the best advice, because that's my motivation, is to give them the best advice that I can, because I want to see them in a better situation. But you know, I've been hearing some key words like understanding, reasoning, listening, you know, awareness. Like I said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Keep it real and make people aware. I heard Badger say the word mental illness. That is a mental illness, and some people don't aware that they have that behavior that exists, that narcissistic behavior, that self-absorbed behavior that won't allow them to even listen to anybody else, to understand or relate to what somebody else has going on, or even give them the good advice. To forget why they even were on the phone with this person, because here it is, we don't start talking about me. So this is the thing about it. I think in the process of this conversation, it would be good to actually help people understand or recognize when somebody really is listening. Because sometimes you could think people are listening, and the whole time they doing some work, they posting on the internet, they doing all kind of other stuff, and going, yeah, man, you got to be kidding me. The whole time they ain't studying nothing you saying. You asked a question and they didn't respond. You like, yeah, man, they did this, they did, and man, did that make any sense? And they just sitting there holding the phone.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, man. I asked you a question. Are you listening? Oh yeah, I'm listening. I heard the last thing you said. But they listening, but they not really listening. And so for you, to me, a way I can always tell if somebody's listening is if they'll come back and ask for clarity, so they can have a clear understanding of the picture I'm trying to paint. Since I can't put it to them on video and show it, I can't pull up a video. So for me to get an understanding of the scenario, give them the understanding of the details, the experience, what led up to this. You know what I'm saying? If they ask me different questions within the time that I'm talking to them, I know they're interested.
Exactly.
Because they need that understanding. But if somebody's just sitting there listening and they're not even asking you any details, trust me, it ain't no way possible that you explaining this to them thoroughly enough for them to not want to ask you for some detail, because everybody's life experience is unique. We might some stories might sound like they're going to be the same, but then all of a sudden it's going to have a little slightly different twist that might make the reason why you reacted more serious than the reason why they acted, or more or less serious. Maybe the thing you did was more warranted than the reason why they did it, or maybe it was less warranted and they have more of an excuse to do certain things. Exactly. So you have to listen to the details to get all the information and have a clear understanding, and then you'll know if they're really listening or not.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's amazing that you said that, because my wife broke me out of that years ago. She was telling me about something, that's when she and I, she wasn't my wife, then she was my girlfriend. We had just, really got together and we was talking. She was explaining something that happened on the job, and I was on the phone, and she was talk hard down, talking to me, telling me everything. I'm preoccupied. I'm preoccupied with a couple other things. I got the phone to my ear, and I'm doing whatever I'm doing, and she said, tell me what I just said. I said, huh? Yeah. She said, she said, tell me what I just said. Repeat to me.
Men do that all the time.
I was like, whoa, oh man, now I'm trying to figure out, man. I'm trying to go back in my mind. I don't know what she said. I have no idea what she said. I really don't. Toya, cut it out. We don't do that all the time. Cut it out. But she got me. She broke me out of that.
I don't. Me, I don't.
Toya, what's on your heart, sis? Toya?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you call me. What you say?
What's on your heart right now? Talk to me. And we don't do that all the time. No, we don't.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, come on, stop. Yeah, no, y'all don't do that in the beginning, right? Y'all don't do that the first 90 days.
There you go.
All right, because you want to make a good impression.
Exactly.
But then after you've been married and hitched and impregnated, then all of a sudden you got a little slick slide remarks and jokes and don't pay attention. But you would not get caught dead not paying attention them first 30 days. What? Mm-hmm. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. What you say? Yes, ma'am. What? Oh, yeah, I'm on it. Like dog on it. What? Mm-hmm. But as soon as month 17 get around, what you say? Well, I said that we need to go do this and third. Oh, okay. 3 days later, you still ain't did this, that, and third. That's what men do sometimes. Let me not say sometimes. A lot of the time. When you get caught,
y'all gonna let her bash us like that, man?
I'm waiting on you to say something, brother. I'm waiting on you to say something.
I ain't gonna do it all the time, man. I'm waiting on Ibrahim or somebody to come in and say,
oh.
Watch this. Hold on. I got just hold on, Toya. Give me 1 second. I got Tucson. Handle that, Tucson. Handle that. Yeah. Yo, go ahead.
I'm trying to get a word in edgewise.
You weren't listening no way. That's why you couldn't get the word in, because you didn't hear when I stopped.
Tucson, I called on you, brother. I called on you.
See what my daddy always said, son, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
So you should listen twice as much as you talk.
Yes, sir.
But it's hard to say something.
Uh-oh.
When you hear yapping.
So you saying the women be yapping?
It's hard to listen to, ain't it?
I'm just speaking for a friend.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Cassandra, what do you got to say to that, Cassandra? Help us understand what's really going on. Cassandra?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Were you listening?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Curtis. Help us understand. Make it plain, man. Look, we got to stick together, brother. Come on, Curtis.
I mean,
oh Lord, you starting out wrong, Curtis. Oh, you starting out wrong.
Have space on the couch while we're sitting
together. I get what she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. But I've always been one to take accountability for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of times men tune women out because I'm not saying all.
They talk too much, Curtis.
But a lot have a tendency
to talk too much.
To do exactly what we was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all just talked about how if somebody come to somebody with an experience and or an emotion or feeling, they turn it into themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They make it all about. And there's a lot of women, although women might not want to admit it.
Come on.
Or they might not want to speak on it. I'm not saying all women.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a lot of women that even when the dude is trying to actively listen, or actively participate in a conversation, the conversation becomes all about what she wants, how she wanted, when she wanted, where she wanted at, and why he do it. Or the conversation is started with him not doing. So I think there needs to be a greater evolution in what we got going on. Because the truth be told, I'm going to tune you out, because guess what? Society has been telling me all day, every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, have been telling me or reminding me of just how much I have not done. And tend to get in a position to where it's like, you know what? Just do whatever you say you want to do. Don't even ask my opinion. Just like you asking me the whole question of, do I look fat in this dress? If I say, nah, baby, you're good. Oh, you ain't paying me no attention. If I say, well, baby, yeah, it is kind of hugging on the side. What you trying to call me fat? Well, don't ask the question that you don't want to answer to. Or don't start a conversation automatically thinking that I'm just going to automatically agree with you because you're the woman.
No, Curtis, you just no, Curtis, brother. What you do, you take the Fred Sanford approach, man. You take the Fred Sanford approach. Do I look fat in this dress? You say, no, baby, you look fat in and out of that dress. And handle it. That's the Fred Sanford approach. Say you look fat in and out of that dress. The dress ain't what's making you look fat.
Trying to get somebody poison, man. Go ahead with that. Your girl don't eat, and then all of a sudden you don't. She's standing there kicking cooking. That's because she probably got arsenic in the old lady. So she put some arsenic in your food.
Well, yes, sir.
I had a co-worker. She said my mama had to stop me. She said, I'll feed my ex-husband bottle of glass.
Good Lord. Whew. Look here, it's some vicious. It's some
grind up glass.
It's some vicious people around here. Feed folks diamonds. Let them eat some diamonds. Willa, what? Oh, Lord, Willa, what's on your heart?
I was going to talk about the conversation. You know, when we're in ministry and you're doing counseling, you just got to think about one thing. You're listening to a lot of people. And one thing that we do is whatever you tell us is supposed to be confidential. Supposed to be confidential. So just imagine a lot of people who respect and trust you, knowing that what you tell them is not going to go anywhere. That you got a lot of people pounding on you. I think I heard one time in the conversation they say that therapists go to therapy. And I can understand why. Because like I said earlier, we have to filter. As human beings, we have to filter. And another conversation was about the women and the men, how we do talk and we discuss things with each other. Now, if you got your mate, you already 2 times out of 10 know she needs some validation on how she looks. So you should have learned the art of telling her that without hurting her feelings.
Wow.
That's about, you know, knowing your mate and trying to do the best for her, and she's going to do the best for you.
Yeah.
Because there's validity in both your opinions. So when you try to make it right in your relationship, you do what's best for the relationship, not what's best for you and your eyesight.
Come on.
And I tried to put that in.
Absolutely. That's good. And that's a perfect place to end right there. But I got to do something though, Leonard. Leonard, you there? Leonard may have stepped away for a second, but I think he just posted something on Facebook. The
Raheem.
Yes. That's
him, isn't it?
Yeah, that is him. Yep, that's him. That's the guy, man. At the Redeemed Awards,
he got a gold buzzer.
Wow.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Go ahead. Talk about it, Leonard. Talk about it.
Because I just happened to remember that you said he would be on America's Got Talent. but I couldn't quite remember the name, and it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
So when I went and looked at it, that's him. And he got a gold buzzer.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And what we're
but
talking
he's very
about,
talented.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What we're talking about is the gentleman at the Redeemed Awards. He actually came out and he kicked the show off with us. He plays the sax and he came out, man. He played a thing. He played Never Would Have Made It. And I'm getting the DVDs together right now. So if anybody want a DVD that didn't get a chance, just let me know. But this young man, he came out, man, and he played that sax. How old is he, Leonard?
About 21.
Yeah, about 21. Yeah, 21 years old. He came out, man. He played that sax. I Never Would Have Made It, man, and took over the house.
Yeah.
And played it beautifully, man. He captured the whole room. This guy, he did his thing, man. And his mother was actually there with him, and she said she told me before, and she said he's gonna be on America's Got Talent if everybody get a chance to look at it. And Leonard just sent me the post from America's Got Talent, man, and the caption says this: America's Got Talent saxophone. His name is Avery Dixon. Emotional performance. Talking about his emotional performance and story of bullying, and it's something else, but you know they got the dot, so I can't see all of it. But this young guy, look for him. Look for this Avery Dixon. Y'all look out for this young guy. He's he's in the music industry. He's definitely gonna be something, man. Because he plays with a passion. He plays very well. And man, at one point he started hitting them. Rico, you know about it. He started hitting them notes, man, and he and man, look, tore the house down. Tore the house down. The young guy's very good, man. Y'all definitely. I'm gonna get them DVDs. I want y'all to check it out, man. Y'all tell me for yourself. He started the show off. He started off, and that's what he did. Rico, what's going on at 3:00 today, sir?
If you missed today's broadcast and would like to see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.dklmediagroup.com.
Good deal. Good deal. Anybody have anything before we get out of here?
Yep, that's American. I mean, I just looked it up. It says American Got Talent, Golden Buzzer.
Yeah.
It popped right up.
Yeah. And to get the golden buzzer, that's huge, bro. That's huge right there. Yeah, that's a walkthrough. That's pretty much a walkthrough to the finals right there, pretty much. And so that's just a testament of how well this young man can play.
Well, I'm gonna say let's leave people with the message to try to listen a little bit more. If people call them, sometimes we are shoulders to lean on, but we don't realize when we are those shoulders to lean on to a certain extent, we are their ears, that we are the therapists. Even though we might not speak, they just want somebody to listen to. Somebody to listen to them. They might not want us to even say anything back. But the minute we come back talking about us, it puts them in the worst place. So, I think we need to make a practice to be sure that it's not always about us. I mean, the topic is self-explanatory. It's not about you all the time. Exactly. And I think that the sooner we realize that, then we can start caring about other people.
Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart before we get out of here, Badger?
Just we're human beings, and do the best. Most we can do in life is be the best human being we can be. Work on self, and then eventually it leads to helping others.
That's good. That's good. Well,
hey, Ryan.
Yes.
When we did that little fast, would y'all believe I still just drink water? I gave up Coca-Cola.
Wow.
And I have not looked back on it.
That's good. That's good. And we gotta do it. We gotta figure out another way. We absolutely. And we still need to figure out. We said a couple of months ago that we was gonna get a book and we was gonna all read a book together. I still want to do that. We get one book that's gonna help us in some kind of way, and we all read the book and we discuss it. We could put together about 10, 20, 30 minutes aside each show once a week where we could discuss that particular book. So if anybody know about a book, pass it on to us, and let's do that. Let's read this. Let's all get the book collectively, read it together.
The ISIS papers. The ISIS papers. Yeah, keys to the colors.
Okay. Hey, we all vote on get a book. We'll put a list on it. We'll vote on it. We'll all decide on whatever book it is, and we all get the book and we'll read it. But right now, Willa.
Hey man, I like that, Raheem. I like that.
Absolutely.
Hey man, let us go.
Are you ready, Willa?
Ready to receive the word.
Are you ready, Willa?
I am so ready, Raheem.
Well, Willa,
I'm so ready.
Let's go.
Amen. Father God in heaven, Lord, we thank you. We thank you, Lord. We're coming before the throne of grace this morning with boldness and confidence, Lord. Father, we thank you for allowing us to get up. We thank you for allowing us to commune one to another. Father, we thank you so much for what you do in our lives. Father, you told us in Matthew chapter 37, starting at verse 22, to love one another as I have loved you. And Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, I hope we are allowing our light to shine where men would see Christ in us, oh Lord, because of you, oh Lord. Father, I thank you so much for the power that you give us each and every day. I thank you, Lord, for walking and talking and showing me your ways, lining me up with your will. I thank you, Lord. I praise you and honor you this morning. Touch each and every last one on this line, oh Lord. Thank you for the praise report of Cassandra, oh Lord. Father, we thank you for her, oh Lord. We love to hear her voice in the name of Jesus, Lord. Thank you for touching her life, Lord. Touch Raheem, oh Lord. Keep his family safe and protected. Each and every last one. In Christ Jesus' name, I say amen, 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 amen. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes, Lord.
Thank you, Lord. Yes.
We can see you, Rico. We can see you, Rico. Wow. Good deal. Anybody have anything before we get out of here? Anybody have anything before we get out of here? On that note, I want to thank you. It is now, what is it, 10:14. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is now 10:14. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you for the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Take care of each other, and please, please, please be blessed. Rico, what you got there, man?
Suicide. I can take it down. Yeah, but due to the fact of the topic, you know, we was talking about listening. You know, I think we forgot a little bit earlier. I mentioned it about suicides being up, and it's almost at, you know, it disproportionate levels how much the rate has increased over the past 10 years with youth and adults. And I think we should take the time out once again to listen. I think it's very key. The topic that we had about it not being about you all the time, but more importantly, listen, because some of these people that have been killing themselves, they have been reaching out, and we have just been ignoring them or distracted and not being able to read them between the lines or listening. But listen to people, and even though they say they're all right, sometimes they dig a little deeper.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and I'm gonna get the suicide prevention hotline. We're gonna post that tomorrow as well. So make sure people have that particular number just in case they want to reach out to somebody. Or you can certainly call us here. You can call us here. Call us anytime, man. And I'll put you in the right place with the right person. We got several people, man, that would love to talk to you. So if you think you're going through something, or you think you're in a situation where the walls are closing in on you, they're not. Reach out to us here. Please reach out to us here. I promise you, we'll put you in contact with the right person that's going to talk to you and that's going to help you through it. Myself, we got plenty of people that's here that's more than willing and able and ready to have that conversation with you. Give us a call. We love to hear from you. Love each and every one of you all. Stay blessed And if God said the same, we'll see you tomorrow.